one hand, if you're someone that is playing fantasy football and you need touchdowns, you think they can move the ball, you're not going to lose goal line carries like you maybe have in the past to Taysom Hill. I guess there's some benefit there. But if we're just talking about a rushing yard prop, it just worries me, even if the carries are there, which I'm sure they will be. If this is going to be a defense that can key in on him, knowing that they're not worried about Taysom Hill. And I'll be honest, the quarterback situation is a disaster there. I'm actually surprised they don't have Spencer Rattler starting in this game, but instead they're going to go with Hainer. So.
Yeah, I would have went with Spencer Rattler too. My man Spencer Rattler, the good Gamecock. You know what I'm saying? They kept him out. I'm surprised. But listen, I always listen. We saw what happened with Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson. I kind of trusted people that's watching practice. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Rattler's not ready yet. It was a couple. I'm not sure if it was last Sunday or the Sunday before last. Alvin Kamara had like 7 fantasy points on the first drive.
The very first drive, he already got you. Look, fantasy football playoff season, by the way. You're just trying to avoid the Cooper Kupp dud that we saw on Thursday night. No catches. It was just a cardio workout. He ran, I think I saw the number, 4.9 miles during the game, but he had, quote unquote, nothing to show for it from a fantasy football perspective. Not good for those of you that are in the playoffs. All right, let's get to another one. Clip it or ticket. David Montgomery. We talked Detroit, Buffalo, huge game. Over receiving yards, 14.5. You clipping that or ticket it?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one right there. I probably would clip that. I look at Montgomery. He could get a couple passes against that Buffalo defense. Listen, like you said about the first wager, it's probably a stay-away spot, but I would probably clip it.
Yeah, I think we know how they utilize their backs in the passing game. I mean, typically this is, Jahmyr Gibbs' territory. We know they rotate the backs, but if we're talking about a back getting catches out of the backfield, this is usually where they like to use Jahmyr Gibbs. We know how creative Ben Johnson is with the play calling, which is a great thing. It also scares me on this bet because I feel like they're going to get whether it's Tim Patrick who gets more and more involved now. I feel like they're more likely to,
in that offense,
because of how creative are there. There'll be a lineman that gets a catch before David Montgomery gets 2 or 3 catches or something. I mean, that's just how creative that offense is, which kind of scares me away. So I'd flip this one.
The only thing about it is with that high total, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we have enough offense, but everything gets involved. That's probably would make it more of a stay-away spot for me. But listen, I guess my favorite fantasy team is a team where I went heavy wide receiver, and my running backs were David Montgomery and Aaron Jones, and that's just as good as running back duo. I mean, unless you got Barkley and Derrick Henry, that's just as good as running back duo as anybody.
No doubt. Now, let's stay with that game. The other clip it or ticket, I love this one. Josh Allen, over rushing yards, 37.5, one of the most popular bets right now at BetMGM. Just to fill in some context here, last week against the Rams in that high-flying game, he had 82 on the ground. A week before that, 18, 55, 50. So he's actually gone over this number, what would that be, 3 times in the last 4 games Josh Allen has.
Yeah, this is the over. This right here. I'll take this to the window right here. I'll take the over on Josh Allen rushing yards in a game of this magnitude that means this much. All the things on the lines we talked about earlier, possible Super Bowl preview. Not to mention the fact you still got teams jockeying for position to try to get up to that number 1 seed and get that bye and home field advantage. When it boils down to it in the game of this magnitude, Josh Allen is going to run the football and he's going to run it often. So I will take the over on this one right here.
Yeah, this is absolutely a ticket. I mean, I just don't know how. If you're betting it at all, I don't know how you would take the under on this. I would love to know your logic on the under. You think he's getting hurt or something? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, to me, he's going to win MVP. And even last week when they lost, we know everybody was talking about the 6 touchdowns, including 3 on the ground, even if some of those were essentially tush-push type of yards. But he's more than capable, as we know, of taking off. And I think he's going to have to, honestly. If they're going to win this game, I think he's going to have to utilize his legs, whether it's designed or not. He's going to. So I definitely like this one. Another one, last one for a clip it or ticket. Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins, over receiving yards, 68.5 for Miami. 2-1 Company are on the road at Houston. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern time kick. Dolphins
Willie's taco joint.
Picture. I'm going to clip this one. It would have been absolutely nuts, Corey, a year ago if I told you that we could even see a number at 68.5 on Tyreek. You say, oh, is that a first half total? Is that a first half Tyreek Hill receiving total? No, that's the game total. He's not been the same guy this year. Variety of reasons. Some of it has been when they've had, Skylar Thompson as the quarterback. Tyreek's been banged up this year as well. I don't like this number. This has been more of a Jalen Waddle season than a Tyreek season.
And also, one of the things about the Houston Texans defense, they do get after it on the back end. Now, this Houston Texans team is a very interesting team. They never cover spreads. They don't cover spreads as at home. They don't cover spreads as favorites. But I actually would lean this way this week. I think Miami's a little. I think Houston's a little bit.
Whatever ambiance you normally have, we're good.
Said, I mean, I took this guy at 1-1 in a couple of my big money fantasy leagues. What a disgraceful season from Tyreek Hill. I would not go nowhere in this one. Would I go to the window with it? Probably not. But if I do, it's definitely going to be that under. I don't like the season that Hill has had this year.
And the girl emailed me.
It's been disappointing. We know he was absolutely sensational last year, but just has not been the same player in 2024. That's a little clip it or ticket when it comes to some of the popular bets at BetMGM. I want to talk more, though, about a market that is still out there that I think you can make some money in. And that would be who's going to end up with the most wins this upcoming season, or this current season, in the upcoming weeks ahead. That would be between really the Lions and Chiefs. Unless you think the Eagles are going to win out and the Lions are going to drop a game, maybe you think.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Krivas turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to tip off of Arizona basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Underneath to Owaka to the bucket and jams it right over the top of Felder.
Hey, if you're not going to make layups and you're Owaka, just take it to the rim and rack attack.
Chases down his own rebound, though. Drives inside, up and under and score it. Boy, that was a beautiful move by KJ Lewis. Caleb bounce pass to Krivas to the bucket and jam it home. Lewis spin move in the lane to the bucket, lay it in, and we're over 100. 101-63 Arizona.
You know what the emphasis is going to be on? Arizona basketball. Because here's the deal. UCLA is a good program. And if we go in and all we're worried about is UCLA and assume that we're going to show up and play well, we're going to get our ass kicked.
That is the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, on Thursday. It is basketball day in Arizona. We are in Phoenix for the big matchup, the renewal of the rivalry between the UCLA Bruins and your Arizona Wildcats. Tip-off is coming up at 1 o'clock live from the Footprint Center in the second straight year that Arizona will appear in the Hall of Fame series. A great morning to you. It is a little chilly by Arizona standards. Temperatures right now in the mid-40s here in downtown Phoenix. Once again, we are at Willie's Taco Joint. We are on the corner of 3rd and Jefferson. We are right across the street from the Footprint Center. So stop on by on your way to the game and join us here. Great food, great drink specials happening. We're going to talk to Eric Stoltz, who owns this place right here. He's got tremendous Arizona Wildcat connections, and we'll hear from him about this spot, what they've got going on, as well as things you can do when you're coming up here. If you're coming up for Suns, if you're coming up for Mercury, if you're coming up for a Diamondbacks game, this is one of the places to be right here at the center of the athletic sphere here in the Valley. UCLA and Arizona. It will be today the 114th all-time meeting between these two teams. UCLA leads the series 63-50, but Arizona has won the last 3 contests between these two teams. Let's give you an indication of everything we've got going on for you today over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we're going to review last week's win against Southern Utah. That'll be coming up shortly here. Wildcats putting up big numbers against the Thunderbirds to get back on track and back to 500. We'll preview the UCLA Bruins, who are coming off a big win, a buzzer-beating, well, almost buzzer-beating win, a 0.4 of a second beating win over over another of their former Pac-12 mates, now Big Ten mates. I don't think that was a conference game for them though. Over the Oregon Ducks this past week, you'll hear from Dylan Andrews, who hit the big shot. You'll also hear him talk about not hitting the big shot a few years ago in the Pac-12 championship game against the Arizona Wildcats. Our spotlight on a cat, we'll hear from Caleb Love this morning, who's been going through some shooting struggles to start the season, and we'll hear from Caleb on how he's trying to work through that. DK with TL, we'll talk to the head coach. Always a view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Jaden Bradley joins us on the program today. We'll chat with Jaden as well, get his thoughts on the state of this Arizona Wildcats basketball team. Best bets, Arizona, a 3.5-point favorite today here against the UCLA Bruins. A low over-under, kind of low for what we've seen this year, 147.5. Well, you know why that is, because Mick Cronin's crew is known for their defense. Ben Bolch from the Los Angeles Times, he's been riding the beat now for 25 years. The beat for the Bruins, 8 years, but with the Times for some 25 years. We'll hear from him in your opponent scouting report, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Again, I'm at Willie's Taco Joint here, right across the street from the Footprint Center where UCLA and Arizona will play today. J.W. Madden is back in studio along with the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Gentlemen, good morning. It is the rivalry, the first of 3 meetings over the next 4 years between these two teams. All will be on neutral courts. But regardless of whether it's on neutral courts or at McHale or Poly, it's UCLA and Arizona, and this is what we wanted to see when the Pac-12 came apart.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what you want to see. You want to be able to see these teams play each other. The history that these teams have especially over the last 30 years, man, is just, fun, especially for us Arizona fans. So just have an opportunity to see these guys play this game is exciting. J-Dub, I sent a little video in our little group text, and we had lost to those guys, man, and we had a bad shooting night.
That was a good team you guys lost.
That was they won the national championship.
Yeah, that was a pretty deep. That was a good team.
Yeah, one of the best teams there. Well, let's not go too far. But anyway, I just feel like that. Damon had a tough day that day. We're going to need our leader Caleb to have a good one today for us to be able to get it done.
Yeah, DK. I mean, I remember when Luke got here and that whole story about the first Pac-10 championship that Arizona won. They won it in Poly, and he had that, what was it called? The game program hung up in his office.
Yeah.
And people used to ask him why that was. And it's because that was the first one they ever won. Steve Kerr coming out of that area, first recruit. Like, recruiting LA, DK, was always such a huge point of emphasis and really the foundation of the program in the 80s. And how do you recruit in LA? You measure yourself against UCLA Bruins. So it started really early. It's always been so great. They're only about 450 miles away from each other, these two cities. So even though they're not in the same conference anymore, DK, it's always great to see the Bruins and Wildcats match up in basketball.
Indeed it is. Indeed
it is. One more really quick thing. I did look it up, and that was a conference game between the Ducks and the Bruins. Apparently, they're doing a 20-game schedule in the Big Ten, so they got to get it started early. Every Big Ten team has already played 2 conference games at this point.
Well, there you go. They got a big win, there last week over their continued rivals, the Oregon Ducks. All right, the big news that came out of that win over Southern Utah last Saturday was the decision by Tommy Lloyd to move KJ Lewis to a reserve role, 6-man role, coming off the bench and inserting Carter Bryant into the starting lineup. We had seen that move made at the finality of the Battle of Atlantis against West Virginia, and we thought that move had been primarily made because KJ had gotten a technical foul, his second tee of the season in the game against Oklahoma prior to that. But Tommy Lloyd elaborated on why that path continued last Saturday against Southern Utah.
KJ came to me the past couple days and, asked if I would be open to him not starting. It was his idea. He just felt like maybe he would, give other guys some opportunities to get some confidence and kind of put him in a role similar to Pella played a few years ago for us. And so I'm really proud of KJ. And, what's cool is, you don't always, you make a selfless decision. You make we call in our program an us decision. You make a program for the greater good. A decision for the greater good. You don't always get rewarded right away, but he came out and got rewarded tonight.
Yeah, indeed, for him. Great game by KJ Lewis. Really great defensive game, guys, which is what you love to see from him. When KJ Lewis is defending, and one of the things we've talked about is just the struggles that the Wildcats have had trying to get the transition going. He can get the transition guys going all by himself when he's out there jumping those passing lanes.
Yeah, and as I said before, I think having a chance to see the game get going and see who's causing the problem and going to go guard that guy and just having a chance to have a little bit more energy, a boost of energy coming in. Everybody knows the energy that he plays with. So for him to come in after 5 or 6 minutes and bring that level of athleticism and hustle, it just turns it up on that team while they're kind of wore down from the start of the game. So it's just smart by KJ of also understanding that when you come in with that second group, you can be more of an offensive punch. With that first group, he's probably the fourth option, maybe the fifth. And sometimes when Tobey's not out there, right? So with that second group, I think he's more of a first or second option, so he can be more effective and not really bump heads. Because if we notice, part of our issue was it seemed like Jaden Bradley was doing too much. It seemed like KJ was doing too much, but it was because all three of the guys were being aggressive at the same time.
Yeah. And DK, it doesn't really, first of all, Kelvin, great point. The whole concept of him coming off that bench and bringing that punch, we saw that bench struggle. Really, to kind of bring any kind of energy, not energy. They're obviously bringing their energy, but they weren't bringing their production off that bench. And so having KJ in there, you know what he's going to bring. And DK, it doesn't really matter what the original reasoning was. Maybe he was benched because there's some extracurriculars going on. But the decision, the us decision to come off, nobody knows better than Kelvin Ifon what KJ Lewis is going to bring every second he's on that court. Doesn't matter if he's in the starting lineup. Doesn't matter if he's off that bench. But that energy, like you said, he is a one-man fast break. Looked like a defensive back out there. Really, really always been impressed with KJ's defensive instincts. And the more comfortable he is, Kelvin, the better this team's going to play.
Let's hear from KJ Lewis on why he asked to come off the bench.
Whatever is going to help the team. The conversation me and Coach Lloyd had, I want to win. And I know the program wants to win and the fans want us to win and the team wants to win. So just trying to do whatever it takes to, be in a winning position for the team and, making, us plays and making us sacrifices.
And again, that's the kind of guy that you love to have on a team. That we heard that term a lot, guys, this past week. Us decisions, doing things that benefit us. We heard that from Tommy. We heard that from KJ. We heard it from Henry after the game. Again, that's they're trying to at least make this about a buy-in, a total buy-in from guy, as we know this year, from guy 1 to guy 20 on this team.
Now, Kelvin, not to read too much into this, but does that, because we didn't hear a lot about that through the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, so maybe that was too many me decisions going on behind the scenes or whatever. It's all about the team. Clearly you're going to play a flow offense. Right. You're going to play an offense that's meant to have 3-4 guys, all with 2-3 assists, not just one dude with 10. You got to move that ball around. That's all about us decisions and making the right reads. But the terminology more recently, I think that's just emphasizing the idea of, hey, guys, this doesn't go unless we're all committed to what we're all trying to do as a unit.
And you're not really able to implement that because we heard that after they got back from the trip. So they had 10 days, basically, one game in between to be able to implement that us type of attitude. But also I'll add this to this. when you have kids coming from championship team, they understand that it has to be us.
Yeah, KJ's played with some good players. He knows what's up. Yeah.
Right. And that's, and most of these kids on this team, the Carter Bryants, all these guys, even our guys international, they come from, national teams and stuff like that. You have guys that understand what it takes to win.
And, we saw this really energize that bench group. 62 points off the bench. Multiple guys. You're talking about KJ Lewis, Anthony Del Orso, and both Mateus Krivas and Henry Vesar in double figures coming off the bench. 62 points from that bench. Tommy Lloyd will take that every day of the week.
I just think it's really valuable when you add guys off the bench that can contribute in a lot of ways, especially, some offensive firepower. It's good. But I think you look at a lot of KJ's points tonight. I mean, it was probably defense to offense, and so there's lots of ways to impact the game. But, I just think that's, you're a part of a great program when your bench players are, at the level of your starters. And I think sliding KJ to that spot gives us, a real solid feel that's what we got.
Yeah, and 21 for 32 from the field from that bench crew. 4 guys, Kelvin, in double figures off the bench.
Yeah, and, I got to see that versus stiffer competition.
Of course. No doubt.
For that to be real. And more than the actual stats, J-Dub, see Coach actually give those guys those minutes to see if they actually
let them play through mistakes, really. It's like that deal where you get a guy who gets a couple minutes, like Del Orso versus Duke. Like a couple minutes in there, maybe looking a little lost, doesn't mean that you're not going to come back together and kind of gather yourself and get back in that game or whatever.
Exactly.
Those longer stretches, and the more comfortable and the more trust those bench guys get, and the newer guys that aren't in the starting lineup with Coach, the longer those stints are going to be.
Yeah, like giving guys like El Jefe a chance to play. That'll make Bradley step his game up. Every position needs to have a threat of somebody else behind you that can help the team. The same thing I was speaking when I was talking about Fafita. I still said we need a quarterback that can come in and compete with him to make him better. He's still the starter, but make him better and feel a little heat. That's the same thing that you have to have on the basketball team. That's what we always have had. That's what you need. And I'm glad Coach giving some of those minutes out, because that's how you get the starters to respect what you're really trying to do.
And KJ Lewis says despite the fact he is coming off the bench, nothing really changes for him.
No, I mean, I'm going to play the same regardless, starting or coming off the bench. I'm going to always have an edge and, play with intensity defensively and, just, again, this week, offensively, just letting it come to me and, trying to help my teammates be in the best position they could be.
Kelvin, you don't got to teach that guy how to run through a wall.
No, and you know what, man? Sometimes, too, some guys are a little more mature than other people. I mean, I think he's come from a military background with his mother or his father. And what I'm saying is that this kid probably understands that his chance, because he's been around. He's seen the McDonald's All-Americans. Yeah. He's played with NBA players. He understands his best chance probably of making an NBA team is being the energizer guy, being a guy coming off the bench, being a defender, being a hustle guy. And some guys are smart enough to take heed to that and try to continue to show that as their opportunity to get there. And some guys want to be three-point shooters and prove that they're going to be an all-star in the NBA.
Somebody looks at Drew Holiday and be like, I could do that. Yeah. Other guys are like, I'm the next Michael Jordan. Yeah. Right? I'm going to be the greatest ever, right? Like, that's what the NBA is all about, that next level. Especially now, it's so oversaturated with talent. If you can prove that you can do one thing great, you're going to have a spot.
Carter Bryant has gotten the nod both these games, guys, as the starter. And what a performance for him in the minutes he got against Southern Utah. 4 assists and 9 rebounds. Tommy Lloyd thought that was awesome.
I'm comfortable with Carter in that role. I mean, he's we're having great conversations with him. I mean, I've challenged him to be a connector. He makes a shot, a couple free throws. He has a double-double, grabs 1 more rebound. So, like, that's a really productive night. So let's not be, like, just so sensitive on – scoring, and Carter's a guy, some of these bigger wings like him coming out of high school, it just takes him a little time to adjust to kind of being more like a true perimeter player, because like in high school, Carter was also the biggest guy on his team, so you have to understand this takes these guys a little bit of time and they haven't, had the ball in their hands their entire life, dribbling the ball like, these young point guards have. So young point guards can kind of sometimes adjust a little quicker. The true 5 men are kind of what they are. They just got to figure out the physicality. It's just those in-between guys that sometimes it just takes a little bit of time.
Kelvin, real quick, the biggest problem I think with the 6'8", 6'9" guys used to handling the ball is those quick little guards and how good they are getting their hands in there. And so when get to this level, you might get stripped a few times leading up to the first games. You're talking about like the first couple months of practice when you get with the guys and you're like, oh, okay, it's different at this level. But you get into real games, you put the ball down a few times and you feel that pressure right away. And then you start overthinking and all that stuff. So he just needs to settle in and let that game come to him.
Exactly, and play more alike, because you guys know I was a little critical of him rebounding. I was like, if you're 6'8" and you're playing on the wing, you got to get 6 boards, man. You know, and don't be so concerned with scoring when you have a team with Caleb Love and Bradley playing that way, and you also have Townsend on the inside. Those are the guys in the starting lineup that you have to get going. That position right there right now is the connector. He's a guy that makes the extra pass, the hockey assist. You're getting the extra possessions with rebounds and dunks, and then you are the defender. You are the defender who has to lock up the bigger wing. That has to be your job, and that's looked like what he's selling into. You'll take some big games, some big offensive outbursts, but you really need that guy to be a rebounder and a defender.
Small forward, right? I mean, like RJ, Iguodala, like you think about Luke, like all those guys who are like, we're that connector at the small forward, who could all do a little bit of everything. Yeah, for sure.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from Willie's Taco Joint. I'm down here, Kelvin and J-Dub back in Tucson, getting you set for Arizona and UCLA. Tip-off at 1 o'clock here. We've got you right up until 12:30. We'll get our first break of the day in, come back, start to take a look at this contest today against UCLA. It is, again, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
All the Who's down in Tucson like great deals a lot, but the Grinch who lived on top of Mount Dimon did not. But he went to O'Reilly for the holidays to trade in his sleigh, and the price he got from his trade grew 5 times that day. This holiday season, come to the dealership even a Grinch can love. We're on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check us out at O'Reilly.com. Because at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we prefer that you visit us live. See us this holiday season, and together, let's drive.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Come out to Dave & Buster's, the best place outside of the stadium to see the games this football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game watch party at Dave & Buster's in front of the big screen, plus other big prizes and weekly winners. Join them now through October 22nd, all day, every day. They'll be offering $5 22-ounce drafts only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for all your holiday travel. Jack Furrier's 14 area locations are ready to help. So call, stop by, or visit us online at jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Bellis sets for the second free throw. It is up, and it's no good. And the ball grabbed by Hawkins. Now the Bruins could tie with a two. Here's McClendon for the win. It's no good, and Arizona is Pac-12 tournament champions again.
Fabulous game by the Cats. Grind out win.
Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
All right, so that was the 2023 Pac-12 tournament championship game between UCLA and Arizona. And you heard that Brian Jeffries on that call say McClendon, but that was actually Dylan Andrews that took that last second shot for the UCLA Bruins in that game. A shot to win it and beat the Wildcats, but he missed it, and Arizona was able to win their 9th Pac-12 tournament championship. Well, Dylan Andrews had another opportunity to take a last shot and win a game last weekend against the Oregon Ducks.
Here's Andrews. He slips. Biddle on him to go. Step back. And he banks it in with .4.
Wow.
Oh.
First and most important question, did you call glass?
Did I call glass? Yes, I actually did call glass. So when I shot the ball, I seen the ball like trailing, and it was like I was on the move when I shot it, and I seen the ball going, and I'm seeing it in the air, and it felt like it was going in slow motion. I'm just like, bang, 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 bang. So I was just relieved to see that it did hit the backboard.
Guys, that's probably one of my favorite, I don't know what you would call it, an urban legend or a superstition, that you got to call bank on bank shots. I'd love to know where that started from.
I don't think it's a superstition. I just think it's I meant to do it, because if not, Kelvin, then you're just talking about luck.
Yeah, it don't count.
Yeah.
It don't count. Even though you made it, don't count. Like I remember back in our neighborhood, if you didn't call backboard, that didn't count. Like no way, that didn't count. We ain't counting luck.
Yeah, you're trying to prove your skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shot though, again, it was a step back, but it was a little off balance, and I don't think that's exactly the shot, Kelvin, that he wanted to get. But hey, credit. It don't matter as long as your team's got more points at the end. That's what matters.
Absolutely. Now, that first shot, again, you heard was from the Pac-12 tournament a game a few years ago. Dylan was asked this week if he had ever made a game-winning shot.
Not on the road.
Okay. In high school?
Not on the road. I hit a couple in high school, yeah.
Okay. And obviously you had a chance against Arizona in the Pac-12 tournament. Had that stuck with you and you wanted kind of, quote unquote, get another chance at that?
It just felt good because, that was the team that knocked us out in the Pac-12 playoffs. Mm-hmm. And even then, I still was able to, we got to the point where we were able to get a last shot, and I took the last shot and I missed that shot. And so it just felt good to, see that bucket actually go in this time, which was in the Pac-12 playoffs.
It's always better in the postseason. Always better when you hit those shots in the postseason. A lot of new faces on this UCLA crew. New faces to them, old faces, though, to us, guys we have seen before, like your Tyler Bilodeau's from Oregon State and your Kobe Johnsons from USC. In fact, Kobe Johnson loving his new teammate, Dylan Andrews.
Just seeing him get his little swagger back, Dylan had a few possessions before then that, could have led to, bad things. But, Dylan hit that shot, you saw all of his confidence come back to him. That's all we need from DA, his confidence back, his little swagger back. So as long as he gets that back, I think we'll be fine.
When he's playing with aggression and confidence, how much does that kind of raise your team's level a little bit?
It raises it a whole lot. If DA can score the ball, it spreads the floor a whole lot more for everybody else to get involved. It opens up the basket for Sky to get active, for Ide to get active, and for me to get active. So just for him to, get the confidence back again, it's going to be nice for his team and definitely help us.
Finally found his scoring groove to Dylan Andrews in the game last year. Against Arizona. You remember they went to L.A. at the end of the season there. He had 18 points in that game at Poly Pavilion last year, and is a guy that can score in the 30s. He had a 31-point game against Oregon State, and obviously that game-winning bucket last weekend for this team. Tommy Lloyd on the renewing of this rivalry with UCLA post-Pac-12.
When the whole conference thing went down, Mick and I had a conversation. It was easy. I think we both agreed that it was something we looked, we thought was important to continue for both programs and our fan bases. And, honestly, that was the last time Mick and I talked about it. And then it kind of, got in some other people's hands, and we went from there. So, we look forward to hopefully playing UCLA every year and in some form or fashion. So, I'm glad there was no gap.
Yeah, no gap. Again, back-to-back years. Then I think there'll be a year off, and then the third game will be in 3 seasons down the road. Here, Las Vegas next year, and then Los Angeles for that last meeting in this current stage of the rivalry. But guys, just real happy across the board that they got this thing together so quickly.
Yeah, nah, man. Yeah, when you think of the Pac-10, Pac-12 basketball, you think of Arizona and UCLA. Of course, Oregon, Stanford, a couple other people that crept in over the years, but the two top are those two. So to not have that game, to take 4 or 5 years off of that game, just would have been ridiculous. It's just great to see that they were able to come together and make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, a rivalry forms because of consistently good games and two programs who are fighting for championships. And if you look at the statistics behind 1977 when Arizona joined that conference, UCLA and Arizona had like 2/3 of all the championships between the time that Arizona was in that conference. So it's always been two top 10, top 20 teams, Kelvin, fighting each other. So the fact that they want to continue it, the coaches get a lot of press. Yeah, Mick and Tommy wanted to play this game more, but DK, I mean, this is the fan bases and the alumni like Kelvin Ifon who don't want to see this rivalry, despite the fact they're not in the same conference, go anywhere because these two cities are close and the fan bases are interconnected, and it just needs to continue in some form or another. Hopefully, eventually, they get some kind of home and home thing done, but this neutral site thing for the next three out of the next 4 years, it's great to see the Bruins on the schedule. One guy that Tommy Lloyd is happy he doesn't have to see this year, how about Adem Bona?
Last year, obviously, they didn't have a kind of a UCLA type of year, and I mean, the biggest difference is they don't have this beast inside, and who was the dude was a wrecking ball, and he was a force to play against. Now, obviously they look like they're playing better and better as a team right now. But I'm telling you what, playing against that guy was it was something. I mean, the Bona was a beast, and it was honestly a pleasure to compete against him, because I've seen few guys like that played that hard with that much effort and just that ferocity he played with. But they've replaced him with Bilodeau, and who's a really skilled guy, and obviously we're familiar with him from Oregon State, and he's played well against us in the past, and he's having a tremendous year for him. So I think their skill level increased a little bit. I don't know how you would ever replace a guy like Bona, because I just didn't make them like that. But they're definitely a team that has a plan, that I think they really know how to play to their strengths, and I think they're doing a really good job of establishing that.
Well, what they don't have, guys, is they don't have a lot of size, though. There's only one 7-foot guy plus on this team this year.
Yeah, no, it's not one of their bigger teams, and it's not really like Cronin. Cronin usually, have the big physical guys, a kind of East Coast type of style. But what he do have is rugged guys, rough, physical, aggressive, as Coach Lloyd would call them, handsy. So, yeah, you're still going to have to contend with that defensive tenacity of what Cronin teams bring.
Hey, it's like, owners start to look like their dogs after a while, that whole thing. Like, I've never seen a Bruins team that didn't reflect exactly what Cronin wants them to be, which is, like Kelvin said, tough, gritty, discipline, right? Like, if you're not doing it the way that Mick Cronin wants you to do it, then you're not getting minutes. That's why we've seen such short benches a lot of the times, Kelvin, in the time that Mick Cronin's been there at UCLA. When you think about the Tiger Campbell era and Jaime Jaquez, like, those guys are playing 35, 40 minutes a game. This year's team, they're spread out because last year, a lot of those they was super freshman-heavy team last year. That's why they struggled. A lot of those guys got experience, like DK said, brought in some transfers. And this year's team, despite not having size, they really have gotten after it on the defensive end. They're playing to Cronin's strengths, which is that defensive intensity, Kelvin. And they're just not doing it with having a 7-foot, 300-pound dude in that middle just locking things down. They're just doing it by committee.
And, again, this is the 114th meeting between these two teams, Arizona and UCLA. Mick Cronin has kind of been watching the Wildcats, obviously, and he said this week they've not had an easy road this year.
A West Coast team's going to play in the Bahamas. I don't really understand it. Even if you're flying on a 737, you got to stop for gas. It's such a long trip, so that's not an easy putt either. So I just think they played a really hard schedule. For a team, when you have a new team and you've got to incorporate so many new pieces, they played a really hard schedule.
Now, we mentioned right off the top that the over-under today is a little bit lower than we're used to seeing, 147. Mick Cronin obviously known for his teams that can defend, but Tommy says they are pushing the ball a little bit more this year than they have in the past.
I haven't got a sense that UCLA is like trying to play really slow, or anything. I haven't got that sense. I think last year maybe they were a little bit more, when they were trying to figure things out. But, I don't think we got to, necessarily worry about, either team walking the ball up the floor this game.
Kelvin, I think the best way to describe Mick Cronin's style is opportunistic, in that, like, his guys, he really wants his guys to take care of the ball. Yes. That's number one on his list. So if his guards are throwing the ball over the court, they're not playing. So opportunistic pushing of the ball. If you get a rebound, you rip it down, you find that, someone's running the lanes, and that's a fast break for the Bruins. Otherwise, if it's not there, they're not going to force it.
I think Coach Lloyd may be trying to, hope Mick is out there listening and hope that he,
push
runs
it
up
against
and down
us,
the
push
court.
it.
But sorry, Coach Lloyd, Mick is going to put 4 guys back and take away the break. That's what he does. Offensively, of course, he'll take opportunities to take fast breaks and push the ball. But on the defensive end of the court, he gets 3 to 4 guys back. 4. He only has, I remember even with the UCLA team, the big man would go rebound, the wild guy, he would go rebound, and the other 4 guys would get back and protect the rim. They're not going to give you transition.
And especially today, because the last thing Mick's going to do is let Arizona get comfortable in transition, because they're only giving up, 55 points a game this year, the Bruins?
Now they're getting back.
Yeah, they're going to make a concerted effort to sprint back and not allow those fast breaks.
And what they're trying to do, DK, is they want to force you to run half-court offense. They don't want you to get fast break, easy dunks, easy catch and shoot opportunities at the 3. They're going to have 4 guys
They're
back.
playing to their strengths. Their strength is their half-court offense. They want to get you to try to run your sets against what they do well.
Let's go.
Well, and one of the things that has led to for Cronin this year is some of these new guys that he's come in, he's had to remake them defensively. And Tyler Bilodeau, who comes over from Oregon State, is one of those guys.
He played obviously in a very half-court style. And they never pressured the ball. That's just not what they do at Oregon State. So this is the first time he's had to, where he's never pressed in his life. He's never been asked to pressure anybody in his life, to be in a passing lane in his life. So it's just a big adjustment. But he's done a great job.
You know what I was going to say on that? First off, that's after they score. Once you score, you can put the pressure on. When they miss buckets, they get back. Now, when they score, they do full court, man-to-man, full court 3-1-1.
Yeah, they've been trapping this year.
Yeah, they're trying to play because they're a smaller team, and they're trying to eat up the clock to force you into, late shot, hurry up type of situation.
Yeah, they also got, if you look at their minutes distribution, I'm sure we'll get into this, but what are there, like 10 guys averaging 10 or more minutes a game? I know they've had some blowouts, so they got some of those bench guys getting in late to games, but DK, it seems to me that this Cronin team is getting fresh guys off the bench, not that 7 rotation you've seen in the past, and we'll see if that happens today. Because it's a different level of competition. You mentioned DK. He mentioned Cronin that Arizona's seen quite a crazy schedule. The Bruins have not. Their first 10 opponents other than Oregon, not great. But after Arizona, they got North Carolina and Gonzaga, Michigan on the schedule. They got a big, big, big couple of weeks coming up. But we'll see what happens with that bench, DK, because as it stands right now, there's a whole bunch of guys getting minutes.
All right. That is our first conversation about Arizona and UCLA.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We will tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show, which will also be live here from Willie's Taco Joint. That's where we are. Stop on by and see us on your way to the Footprint Center. It's Game Day, Bruins and Wildcats. I'm David Kelly. Much more straight ahead here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Oh. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards.
Willie's Taco Joint here, just a stone's throw away from the Footprint Center, getting you set for the Wildcats and UCLA. Well, we are open here at Willie's. Folks are starting to trickle in. I see some red down there at the end of the bar, but right now I've got a young man here who is, I think, unfortunately, on the other side of this rivalry today. Monty Guerrero is stopping through. He's the first guy here this morning. Monty, why'd you come down here so early?
Just because of the traffic. And I'm from Southern California. You always get there early, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You got to leave early in Southern California.
Yeah.
You know that it's sometimes hard to navigate the foreign country there, right?
Yeah, the foreign country, Southern California. Yeah.
You're a Bruin fan.
Yes, sir.
Wow. How long?
All my life. My mom went to UCLA.
Your mom went to UCLA.
Yeah.
Outstanding. How about you? You didn't want to know?
United States Navy.
Okay. Outstanding. So you are all excited about Army Navy today.
Yes, sir. I'm excited, and go Navy.
Go Navy. Outstanding. But the Army's the team to beat today, so what do you guys got to do to win that game?
It's the Army-Navy game's almost like the USC-UCLA game.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever comes in as the predicted victor always leaves the loser. So I feel good.
How long did you serve?
I served 4 years.
4 years?
Yes, sir.
Did you go anywhere exciting or?
I was in Dubai when Dubai was a one-horse town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before they built all the fancy buildings and all of that.
Yes, sir.
What's give me your favorite UCLA basketball memory?
My favorite basketball memory is when Tyus Edney took the inbound pass and went all the way down the court and beat Missouri and advanced to the Final Four. That was the greatest.
Oh wow! Well, I got a guy back on our show, our analyst, Kelvin Efon. He played against Ty. You played against Tyus, right, Kelvin?
Yeah, that year. Yeah, they beat us and they went on. So I guess we lost to a pretty good team.
They were pretty good. Yeah, the O'Bannons, right?
Yeah.
And the O'Bannons, and then Ed O'Bannon. In fact, UCLA is a place of creation. Ed O'Bannon created NIL.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we've been following that for 35 years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
O'Bannons versus the NCAA.
Yes. Yeah.
I got a guy here who's got on a, I believe that's going to be the Vancouver Grizzlies Mike Bibby jersey.
Yeah.
Vancouver Grizzly Mike Bibby jersey. How about that?
How about that?
There you go.
U of A. And his dad was a Bruin.
Yes.
Henry Bibby was a Bruin.
Well, but his dad also coached at USC. If you might remember that.
That was crushing, I tell you.
He was the coach of the one team that we got that I told you. I told Monty I'm a USC grad. Henry Bibby coached the team that went to the Elite Eight. I believe it was 2004 or 3 or somewhere around then. And lost to Duke in Philadelphia. I remember I dropped everything that I had and drove to Philadelphia to see that Elite Eight game.
That was Baby Jordan, right?
No, that was much past Baby Jordan. I went to college when Baby Jordan was there. Harold Miner. Yeah.
Okay, Harold Miner. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that was those were the Sam Clancy teams.
Okay.
And what was guy? Jeff. I can't remember his name.
What David Kelly isn't telling you is that he was a manager of that USC team with Harold Miner, and he taught Harold Miner everything he knows, including his jumping ability.
Is that the Trapani? Was that Jeff Trapani?
Jeff Trapani, yeah. I think that was the Jeff Trapani years as well.
The big redhead guy. Yeah. Okay. That was
no. The big redhead guy was he played for the Celtics.
Yes.
I
can't remember. His name.
He might have been a little bit after that, but he was around that time period as well. Give me a score, Monty.
Today.
Yeah.
75-65 Bruins.
75-65. Okay, so that would be 140. So you're right. You're playing the under today. The under is 147.5.
Okay.
All right, so
Scalabrine.
75-65.
Scalabrine, that was his name.
Brian Scalabrine.
Yes.
Brian Scalabrine. There you go. Hey, Monty, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us.
And I got one more.
One more.
Navy 27, Army 14.
27-14. Navy sings second today.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Thank you
Monty,
very much.
appreciate your service. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the game today. All right, Monty Guerrero, let's shine a spotlight on one of your Arizona Wildcats.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, cross court over to Larson. 11 to shoot. Pella holding it there. Baller with the screen. Larson around it. Step back, no shot over to Love. He'll launch the deep three. It's up and good. Caleb Love with his first Lexus of Tucson charity three. Get it to Love in the right corner. Jumper for three is good. Oh my, Caleb Love with a pretty three. Alexis of Tucson charity three. He's got 17 points, and the Wildcats lead by 22. Timeout, Bruins.
Caleb Love starting to find his game. Had some really nice pick and roll action in that ball game on Saturday, and that's good to see when he can start to, kind of facilitate for other guys as well as
that pocket pass, Kelvin's been nice for him this year.
Yeah, no, very nice. I mean, he want to show all parts of his game. I like when he's playing relaxed. Of course, you want him to be aggressive, but you want him getting his teammates involved. So it's always cool to see. He's a guy that I always target for at least 4 assists a game because I think it just opens up other things for him to do.
And Caleb Love is excited to play this game today against the UCLA Bruins.
I'm looking forward to the matchup for sure. They're well coached. They're playing really well to the start of the season, and so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think we're all looking forward to the challenge. This is another opportunity that we have in front of us that, we can go out here and, try to get us a win. And, I think, we've been preparing all week. My teammates, the coaches, managers, everybody, we all been locked in and, focus on, our culture and things that we want to, focus on to, for the outcome to become a win.
Where do you think, team-wise, you guys have had the most struggles to this point?
Maybe our offense a little bit stagnant as far as like movement, and then our defense, we've given up too many threes. A lot of second chance points. That's been hurting us, and that's that's on all of us, including the guards. I think we gotta crack down on the bigs as far as when we get switched on bigs and actually hitting them, boxing them out, and so our bigs can maybe go get those rebounds. But I think it's been a little bit of everything, and we know that we've been watching a lot of film. We see exactly what the issues were, and we've been focusing on them, and we onward and upward.
How do you solve the defensive three-point problem?
We got to communicate better on the defensive end, especially like our switches. When we supposed to be switching, make it definitive. As far as when a player gets close to another player, we got to switch, or just communication. If we want our teammate to stay, we stay. And I think it's just communication, and I think that'll solve everything.
How was it presented to the group when Tommy made the decision? KJ came to him and said he wanted to come off the bench, thought that might be better for the flow and some of the rotations. How was that presented to you guys?
He kind of just told us in a film session that coach that KJ asked him to come off the bench, and that's big time by KJ. That shows the type of player he is, that he's giving it up for the team. That shows his character. That it doesn't matter if he starts, if he doesn't start, if he comes off the bench or whatever the case may be. He just he wants to play hard for this team and do whatever it takes, and I think that's great by him.
Helps Carter to be in that role. I mean, he played pretty well as a starter the last couple games. I mean, mentality-wise or whatever. Do you notice the difference, or is it?
Yeah, I think Carter. Everything is a confidence thing with him, and I think that'll build his confidence. Him, starting with us, in that starting five, and I think as we play more and more games, he'll get more and more comfortable with the game, gameplay, how fast the game is, and things like that, and he'll find his way, and he's been doing that, and I'm proud of him.
Toby had the big dunk, and then he came down and took his first three ever. Would you guys kind of think of that shot for him, and you think that's something he could potentially add from time to time?
Yeah, for sure. He's been working on that shot all summer and all fall. We have ultimate confidence in him taking and making that shot. And that's another thing with him is just confidence, him shooting it with confidence, and we'll clean it up on the glass if he misses.
And you guys seem to really have a tremendous show of joy when Delly gets going, and I know you talked about it a little bit down in the Bahamas. So what's kind of been infectious about what he's added to this team?
Delly is a hard worker, man. He's steady. He doesn't get too rattled about anything, and he's a shooter. And shooters make shots, and when he gets going, it's we're a tough team to beat. And I love seeing that emotion up out of him because you don't see that all the time. But I love seeing it. It fires me up, it fires the team up, and it kind of gets us going.
What's cool about the way KJ can kind of read those passes that he's able to get to? We saw it a couple times in that game where he just read it, got it, went down for a dunk.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's on defensive end. He's active. He's always alert. And he makes it hard on the offense. Whoever he's in front of, or off the ball, he's engaged off the ball, and that's how he gets those steals and run out. And he gets to show his athleticism, get on the rim, and so when he's getting those steals, it's very telling that he's engaged.
That was Caleb Love earlier this week, meeting with the media ahead of today's game against the UCLA Bruins, and he is your spotlight on a cat.
This today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Let's hear quickly from the head coach again, Tommy Lloyd, on Caleb Love's positive plays in that win over Southern Utah last Saturday.
I thought for stretches in that game, Caleb was great. I mean, I thought he was, they were really being aggressive on his ball screen, kind of showing on his ball screen, not on anybody else's. I thought he was doing a good job moving the ball. I thought he was good in some of those open side ball screens that got us some layups and some dunks. He was kind of the guy making the play. So, I mean, when you're a good player, you draw a lot of attention. And I wish his finishing would have been a little bit better. I mean, if his finishing's a little bit better, he's efficient. I mean, he could, instead of being 3 for 12, he's 6 for 12, 7 for 12, and, has 16, 18 points. I mean, I think it's right there. I don't think it's anything that there needs to be alarm bells going off or anything like that.
Real quick, guys, are you seeing anything like maybe the way he's finishing there, that what Tommy was talking about, or maybe where he needs to be a little bit more crisp in that?
I mean, real quick, I think that floater, like I mentioned during the postgame the other day, was a little casual, and I'd like to see him pull up and just have a solid 10-foot jump shot. Kelvin, how about you?
Yeah, I just think just a little bit more focused. I think the competition that he was playing in that game had him, maybe not as focused as he needed to be when he was attacking. But I love that he was being more aggressive going toward the rim, not as many threes. I think he's a guy that needs to take more 2-point shots than 3-point shots. I think if he can stay in that area, more free throws than 3-point.
We got to have a stat like how many layups does it take for a U of A win from Caleb Love, right? Kelvin, I mean, like if it's like 2.5 or 3 layups for Caleb in per game, that's just going to open everything up for everybody else.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from Willie's Taco Joint. Okay, right now it is 5-1 Arizona versus UCLA fans here right now. We talked to Monty Guerrero. He's down there. He's the only Bruin in the house right now. We got all Wildcats. I mentioned we got a young man here who's got a Mike Bibby Vancouver Grizzlies jersey on right now. We got a bunch of fellas that are sporting their red and blue, their cardinal and navy. So folks are starting to get here. Come on down and join us.
The thing is, DK, is that Monty mentioned that you got to get there early as an LA person because of the traffic. But there's another side of that coin, getting there 20 minutes late, Kelvin, because we've seen that too. So there's two types of Bruins fans. Get there 2 hours early, get there 20 minutes late. So right, I'm sure that'll pick up.
Sure when they think they're winning.
All right, much more straight ahead. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hi, this is Joe Parsons, President and CEO of Parsons Steel and proud member of the Advisory Business Council of Meridian Wealth Management. As a longtime Tucsonan, professional rodeo cowboy, and businessman, I live my life on several core values and principles. Keep your promises, finish what you start. There's a line between right and wrong and nothing in between. Natalie Fernandez and her team at Meridian share those core values, and I'm very proud to know them. To learn more about Meridian, call 719-1433.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Krivas turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for 2. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Skip pass out to Martinez. He'll fire the three. It's good. Conrad Martinez with a Lexus of Tucson charity three.
Carter Bryant with his head up. Nice assist there.
Knocked away and stolen by Martinez. Cats with a 3-on-1. Shoveled off. Del Arso laying in for two.
Headsy play from Conrad Martinez. He is a help defender there as Felder turned his head. Here came Martinez for the pick.
Again, what a game for the bench. Last week, 62 points for the Arizona Wildcats in their win over Southern Utah. We're going to dive into the bench here coming up a little bit later, but right now we're joined by the owner of Willie's Taco Joint, Eric Stoltz, is joining us. And Eric, we appreciate you stopping by and allowing us to have the show up here again. Great day for some Arizona basketball.
Absolutely. You guys were here last year, which was really cool. And usually I'm an ASU guy. Don't do anything. I was. I didn't go there, but I always had restaurants in this area. My brother went there, but now his niece, my niece, his daughter goes to U of A and's been on the Palm team, so I'm diehard U of A now. That's why I got my blue on.
There you go. Give us a little bit of the history of this place and how long you guys have been down here between the two athletic complexes, the Footprint Center and Chase Field, and how you guys kind of work things on game days now.
So my first place was Coach and Willie's, which was opened in 2000.
Okay.
And that was a couple blocks down. And my dad's name was Willie, and my partner's name was a coach, Hal Simonek, and his dad was a coach for 38 years, so we named it Coach and Willie's.
Okay.
And then after that, we had Coach's Corner down the other end of this, block here. And then we opened Willie's Taco Joint 2016. My dad's name was Willie, of course. He did not like Mexican food and had nothing to do with the cannabis. So I did a Mexican place. His name's up in lights, and it's Willie's Taco Joint. It would smell his place. We'll give you the munchies, rolling the joint tea with our truck and stuff. So my mom thinks, I pushed it, but I think it's great. His name's up in lights. So
there you go, Willie's Taco Joint. I like it. And what's fun about the atmosphere you guys try to create on game days down here?
It's just a little different vibe, outside the arena and everything. A lot of always sports. We did more like artsy stuff, to go with the downtown Phoenix area.
Beautiful artistry that folks can see when they come in here. Was this all hand painted?
Yeah, it was done by Lalo Canto, who was a local. He used to just get arrested basically for tagging stuff back in the day, and then now when he came here, he does like all the stuff for the Arizona Lottery and stuff and so he did. We had him just do this area out here in the patio, and then after that. It looked so good, we had to start doing more and more, and then he did everything. So it looks great. We're really proud of the way it turned out.
And you guys are, it's not just the restaurant. You've got Willie's on Wheels. Tell us about that, what you guys go, who you guys help, how folks can maybe, if they want to get your food in another location, how that works.
We have Willie's on Wheels, which is our food truck, and we do that. And, on request, whatever, we go to a lot of different festivals. And then we also have 2 trailers that we can, do different fairs and stuff. And we also have 2 taco carts. So we can go in people's backyards for, parties and stuff like that. So pretty much any catering need you have, we can take care of. And it's also really good because when we do a festival, sometimes we can do our Willie's menu and then do some different other stuff and, kind of, take all the business in that way on the food. So, and my kitchen manager, Shoko, who's running away right now over there, she's trying to hide. She's done a great job with the menu. And so as much as I can throw at her without getting in trouble, I like to do that. So
how many folks can you seat in here?
Legally, or how many do we pack in? I mean, game days, we put them in here pretty good. Yeah. So, I think our occupancy is, I don't know what that is. I'm not saying that, David.
So are there any drinks that you guys make that are special to this location?
Yeah, the drinks we kind of change up a lot, but our beers are a lot of craft local beers, and then Mexican beers. Our food is it basically drives everything. Without the food, it's the foundation. We want to serve great food at a fast pace, but we're definitely not fast food, and it's just complements the the way the ambiance is and the menu and kind of the drink. So we play off different things. So
now, did you specifically, with the artist you were talking about, did you specifically want kind of a Dia de los Muertos kind of theme to it?
Yeah, because like I said, my dad passed, so with the sugar skull and that kind of fit pretty cool. And I really like it. It's cool. It's different, and it's worked out really well for us. Every time I've been down here, my other ones were sports bars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was just sports. And it's great, but it gets kind of old after a while. People are always wanting one game on, another game. If you're not certain teams, they don't want to come back. So with the Suns and D-backs are our landlords, so we are Suns D-back bar.
Oh, wow, okay.
Anything other like, Coyote, hockey or basketball or hockey or football, I'm a diehard Philly guy, so we can go there. So.
Okay, well, I got family from Philadelphia. My dad grew up in North Philly, so I spent a lot of time there as well. You mentioned, obviously, Diamondbacks and Suns. Both those teams have had lengthy playoff runs of recent World Series last year. I'd imagine it was just those weeks are really off the chain for you guys. How do you handle it? What kind of, you bring in, you have to hire extra people for when teams, like if the Diamondbacks make the playoffs, are you all of a sudden adding staff to try to cover those types of crowds, or are you already set with all of them?
No, in that sense, going back to the D-back Suns being really good, there was an 11-year stretch. Well, there was nothing. They were and it affects business big time. So without them winning, which that's why we're diehard fans of them, without them winning, it's really difficult. But they've been great lately, and with the new ownership group, with the Suns, who are doing phenomenal things down here, developing stuff and doing other stuff, it's been great. As far as staff-wise, we have like a tier system. If it's a really good game, it's like as many people as we can. After a certain point, you can only get so many people.
Right.
Putting the drinks out. So, I've been down here since 2020,
wow.
A long time. So Andy, my bar manager, he's been down here with me most of the time. So we kind of got it dialed in on the schedule and stuff.
What was the 2001 World Series championship? What was that like?
That was insane.
That was like 7 years before I moved here.
So we opened in 2000, and of course, September 11th of 2001, it was brutal. Like we thought everything was done, and the D-backs got fortunate enough to be there, and they played the Yankees. So we didn't even know if there was going to be a World Series. They played it. It was great. It's great for everything to see the whole thing. It was insane. It saved my business. It really did. It was insane.
So what was last year's NLCS like for you, being a Philly guy?
No. When the Phillies play the D-backs, I'm D-backs. So D-backs pay the bills, And so that's my green for my Eagles.
Exactly,
that's
right?
how I look at it. So,
there you go.
So it was funny because me and my family had our first trip planned back east with my kids, and it was planned for the week of the World Series. And I had no idea. D-backs barely got in.
Right,
and so I had all this scheduled. Then the Phillies were up 2-0. I already had my plans, so I had tickets for Game 3 in Philly for the World Series. That didn't happen. No. So I was on vacation. The business did great, which was nice because we in the family got to do some other things. We would end up going to 2 Eagles games. I took my son. We saw Eagles beat up on the Redskins. I'm not calling them the Commanders. And then they also took out the Cowboys that time. So it was awesome.
So why can't the Eagles get along?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully they can. Hopefully they can do it for at least 2 more months.
Right?
So
exactly. So I mean, was that Super Bowl a few years ago? When it must have been fun
everything.
For you.
Because we had the Eagles. I mean, they played great. They played great. They dominated the game. They just wrong results. And turnovers kill you. They had to win turnovers. So it was great. So we had that leading up to the World Series, and it's been unbelievable last 2 years. And just try and keep it going. So as they win, the attendance goes up. It just makes everything better. Oh, I heard it.
Nick Foles.
Exactly,
Exactly,
Nick
our guy.
Foles. Absolutely. Number 9. Gotta love him.
Gotta love Nick Foles. Gotta love him. Well, hey, Eric, again, we appreciate you having us up here. A great location, great atmosphere that you guys have out here, and continued success with everything that you're doing with Willie's Taco Joint. Always a place to definitely stop through on the way to see the Suns, the Mercury, or the Diamondbacks.
I really appreciate you guys being here. Go U of A. diehard U of A now, man. All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Outstanding. Eric Stoltz, he is the owner of Willie's Taco Joint. Here again, we're on the corner of 3rd and Jefferson. We're right across the street from the Footprint Center. We've got, I think we've added a few folks, so I think it's now 7-1. 7-1. Monty is still the only Bruin in the house right now. It's 7-1 Wildcats to Bruins here so far this morning.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I used to see 100-1 Kelvin in McHale, and you'd still hear the 8 clap because they'd be way up in the bleachers, and you could still hear the 8 clap anytime you still did something good. So only takes a few.
Let's before we go to break, let's hear. We heard that highlight at the top from Conrad Martinez. Let's hear from Tommy Lloyd, just on Conrad's play so far this season.
I know I can rely on him. Now I just have to find the opportunities for him, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out. And Conrad is an awesome kid. He came in my office, I don't know, a week or two ago. You think it's going to be the talk, like, Coach, what does this mean for me? He said, Coach, this isn't about playing time. I just want to let you know, when you're ready to give me the opportunity to play, I'm ready. And I'm going to do it with confidence. And I'm like, wow, thank you. So you have a guy telling you that. You have a guy in KJ coming in and saying, hey, I think it would be better for our team if I came off the bench. I mean, those are the us decisions that's going to make us a team. And when you have guys, that have that high a character and are making those decisions, that bodes well for the future. And so those are the things I'm going to really wrap my arms around right now. But Conrad's the guy. I would love to try to find a way to give him an opportunity every game. I can't promise that's going to happen, but I think when you see when he gets out there, I mean, he brings something to the floor for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. Again, it's a little bit of a different juice, I think, when he's out there. A little bit of a spark plug kind of player, guys, that you like to have. It just remains to be seen, exactly like Tommy said, how much you can get him out there.
Kelvin, to me, Jefecito is that dude who's like, since he was 12, has been playing against grown men, and he's always been a little smaller because he's Kelvin. I mean, he plays like he knows how to play against much bigger, stronger, faster players and be effective while doing it. And that takes quite a bit of time. I mean, that's not something that just happens overnight. He's very comfortable out there. And I love that. You said change of pace in the preseason is what you wanted to see Conrad Martinez bring. And every time he's out there on the court, I expect him to get a steal. I expect him to get at least 2 or 3 assists. He just produces good plays when he's out there.
Yeah, I think I always like a little guard like that because those guys usually come into the game pass first, really looking to set up other guys. And I think on a team like this where you have guys that struggle to create for themselves, it's great to have a guy that can just come in and just use his speed and use his IQ to get guys easy shots.
All right, let's go ahead and get a break in here. We'll come back. We'll check our scoreboard. We'll hear from the head coach and a whole lot more. Well, first, let's tell you what we got coming up this hour. Let's do that.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Yeah, that look ahead is actually sponsored, DK, so you might want to do that. DK with TL, however, is sponsored by nobody. That's coming up. Your pest of the game. Who's going to be that Bruin that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today? Brought to you by University Pest and Termite Control. Our view from courtside, again, is going to be none other than Jaden Bradley. We'll go down to courtside with the point guard at Point Guard U. Best bets over-under. It's a little bit low, 147.5. Our guy Monty said 75-65, so he's thinking under, well under by about 7 points today. U of A, though, a 3.5-point favorite. He was saying Bruins by 10 today. Ben Bolch from the Los Angeles Times will give you your scouting report. That's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Keys to the game, starting lineups, all of that still ahead for you as we've got you for about another hour and a half plus live from Willie's Taco Joint. Come on down. It's, again, 7-1 right now, Wildcat fans to Bruin fans. But I'm sure it's going to get a little bit more crowded here on their side in the not-too-distant future. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights. Available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto, professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Have you ever heard of the 5 Ps? That's right, the 5 Ps. These can be applied to most every area of your life, but it's especially true for you and your money. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many years ago when I was a young man in the Marine Corps, I learned about the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Now, you can't control what's happening with the stock market, but you can control how you plan for it. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have been helping our clients with the 5 Ps for years. We have hearts of teachers and will never complicate by using financial jargon. Our fee structure is transparent. The more you make, the more we make. The majority of our clients come from other financial advisors. Isn't it time for a second opinion to allow Trajan Wealth to help you with the 5 Ps too? Call Trajan today, 321-4100, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
New roles on a new team, for a coach for the first time. So you obviously have to evaluate on what they're currently doing. And, I don't think you're going back and looking at the Oregon State scout and saying, well, we had success with this and didn't have success with that. I mean, he's playing at UCLA now. And they're doing a good job utilizing him in a lot of different ways.
What are you seeing that Kobe Johnson is adding to them?
Kobe's, he looks like to me he's kind of a do-it-all guy for them. He's he's really doing a good job facilitating the ball. He's doing a good job, opportunistically rebounding. He's doing a good job defensively. He's starting to make some shots. He's a good player. I mean, he's really talented, and we know what his talent looks like and feels like. And he's right now he's kind of playing that stat stuffer role, which is vital and super important on a good team, and he's doing a great job of it.
Obviously, you made the decision to start Carter against West Virginia, and then you talked about KJ coming to you and suggesting that he go to the bench. How have those conversations gone with Carter that he was going to be that guy that was going to get that opportunity?
I mean, they were fine. I don't think it's anything Carter, necessarily like what was yearning for or felt like he was getting slighted. And I don't think it's anything he's scared of. With Carter, I think he did well last game. I mean, he had. You gave me the stats. You're kind of my stat guru, and something that no freshman had done in a long time. But he had 9 rebounds, I think 4 assists, and I think he had 5 points, and even missed a few free throws. So I thought he really contributed to the game. I think his offensive stuff was going to come, over the course of the season as he gets more comfortable, and he kind of has. He probably just needs a few breakthrough moments to kind of help him build a little confidence and see where his opportunities lie on the offensive end.
Toby had that big dunk in the first half, and then he came right down and took his first 3-point shot of his career. What were your thoughts on?
That was the first one of his career?
First, yeah.
Man, I come to these things and learn a lot. I did not know that. Hey, Toby, had a great offseason with us, and I got off to a good start, and then for whatever reason he hit a few challenges, and so hopefully he's worked himself through that, and he has confidence, and that showed me that when he came down and shot that off one pass, it showed me he was playing with confidence. It definitely showed me that. So, but Toby, I think, keeps trending in the right direction, and he's somebody we're really going to count on this year.
Are there elements within your offense where he could potentially be the guy that hits a 3 occasionally?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't think Toby is going to have to work hard to find a 3 right now, and the best answer to teams not guarding or sagging off him is him eventually being able to show he can make 3s. Now, that might also go into the category of they'll live with that. That's what they want him to do. So, I think there's just a fine balance there of him kind of, continuing to develop as a player and seeing if that outside shot consistently becomes part of his arsenal. Because, we would want it to be, we don't want it necessarily to be, where Tobey's going to prove he can shoot the 3. We want it to be to the point where he's a good enough shooter when he shoots him that the other team doesn't feel good about it, and therefore they guard him because they don't want to give him that shot. That's what you're ultimately building for, and then that might take some time, and it might depend on how teams, how they choose to scheme defensively a little bit.
You talked after the game about just kind of all the evaluations of trying to get the fast break going. Do you need Jaden to maybe push that a little bit more?
For sure. I mean, Jaden's, got off to a good start this year. I don't think I've ever had one guard that I've coached or played for that I said he's pushed it too much. So I'm always pushing him. Every guard we have to push it more and figure out what that looks like and feels like. And, to me, really good guards have the ability to push the ball and assess what's happening as they're pushing it. Guards that are developing or just don't quite have that knack sometimes, assess, then push. We want guys to push first and assess and make a great decision, while that's happening. So, that's the ongoing, player development and just system understanding that you're trying to get guys to understand. But again, they got to be comfortable doing it because I'm telling you, if you're pushing the ball really hard into kind of random traffic, it's not comfortable for a lot of guys. So, we got to make sure that he's, game ready to do that kind of stuff.
Kelvin, I always like that drill where you get a point guard who pushes at full speed with his head up and down the court with nobody else around. Don't matter. Just the comfort level of pushing that ball out in front of you an extra 2, 3, 4 feet because your feet are moving faster. You got to put it out further. Just continually drilling that makes it so that in game when you're pushing, you're not thinking about how far out do I got to put the ball in front of me, all those little things. You're just got your head up and you're assessing what's going on.
Yeah, man, and having guys that could do that, man, it just, as I said earlier, it just creates opportunity. It forces the defense have to run back. And when the defense has to run back, it scrambles to get lined up on the right guys. You get mismatches. Yeah, you get mismatches where you get guys out of position, small guys on bigs trying to guard. A lot of those bigs love to stop out on the perimeter and try to guard a guard, and that's a blow-by for a dunk. And it puts the smalls in a position where they have to guard the bigs. You get it to them for them. So anytime you can create easy offense, it just makes it easier, on your overall game.
My favorite three has always been that secondary break three, too, because you're coming up, your momentum's moving forward towards that rim. You just set your feet. Defense isn't anywhere near you. Just let it go. That's such a good shot.
And that only happens with the pass up or with a speed dribble up the court. Because when that pass up or that guard pushing that ball, usually everybody naturally get back into the paint, which opens up perimeter shots.
Well, think about it. It's like you're sprinting backwards, getting your momentum to go back forwards after you're trying to get back because guess what? Arizona's coming at us. They're going to try to run on us. We got to get back. Well, you get back a little too far. That leaves open threes. That secondary three, best in the game.
All right, guys, we're starting to see some baby blue in the house. We're starting to see some baby blue of the Bruins. The ratio is starting to lower here. We got some folks that just walked in here sporting their UCLA blue and gold, but I still think I think we're like about 9 because I think Monty left, so it's now 9-3. 9-3, maybe 10-3. I think there's some people on the other side of that wall there that I can't see. 10-3 in favor of Arizona to UCLA folks here so far at Willie's Taco Joint. That's where we are. So come on down if you're coming into the city right now. Get parked up. Get over here to Willie's Taco Joint and join us for the show. We got about another hour and a half to go. In fact, do we need to get an ID in here? Let's get an ID here. Station identification. You are listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, guys, real quick, let's find out who that Bruin is going to be that's going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin today.
Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at bepestfree.com.
All right, I'm going to go with Sky Clark. Starts, obviously, a starter, but one of the better defenders on this team, on a team that likes to defend the basketball. Sky Clark is going to be my guy that I think is going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin today.
I'm going to go with Dylan Andrews, man. I think his three-point shooting ability it could make a difference in this game, especially until we prove we can stop shooters from the perimeter.
Yeah, and I'll go with Stefanovic because the same reason. I think that dude, I've seen him, he's real streaky, but when he gets hot, it's so pure. He lets that thing go, and within that offense, I don't think I've ever seen a Cronin team, Kelvin, who scored easily outside of giving the ball to Jaime Jaquez Jr. in the post and letting him go to work, or Tiger Campbell just doing his thing. They always tend to, be on the lower end of scoring. But when you get some outside shooters in that half-court offense that let it fly and they get hot, DK, that's a problem. So, yeah, I'll go with Stefanovic.
Yeah, a couple of transfers there in Sky Clark from Louisville and Lazar Stefanovic, who comes over from the Utah Utes. Those are the guys we think will get underneath the Wildcats' skin today here in Phoenix.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit bepestfree.com.
All right, we're going to hear from the point guard, Jaden Bradley, coming up next. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from Willie's Taco Joint here in downtown Phoenix. We're right across from the Footprint Center. We'll be here after the game, so stop back on by and talk Wildcats after they face the Bruins here today. Along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead, live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & Kay is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
Time now for our view from courtside, and for that, we're going to go down to one of the guys that's going to play in this game today. Pleased to be joined by the starting point guard for your Arizona Wildcats, Jaden Bradley. And Jaden, no stranger to playing a game at the Footprint Center. You guys played there last year against your former team, the University of Alabama. What did you take away from that night, having a chance to play in that environment, in that arena last season?
Yeah, that environment, it's electric in there.
me and my guys, we're excited to be back in there, playing a great UCLA team and, looking to, get this win.
Yeah, and just one, you only get one chance against UCLA now that the two teams are not in the same conference. Is it a different feeling this week with the guys than maybe last year when you knew you had two opportunities against them and maybe even a third if you came up with them at the Pac-12 tournament? Is there a different sense that, hey, this is our one shot to get these guys and we got to go out and get it?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's always, a different feeling, playing UCLA. Our transfers and, our new guys, our coaches do a great job of, telling us the history so they know, all the games and, all the rivalries before this. So, we're excited to go out there and play against a great UCLA team.
What did you take away? Were there any takeaways that you can remember just from their style of play last year, what you guys can kind of expect? And what have you seen on tape this week as far as what type of squad they have?
They're always good. They're always gritty. They got a great coach. They get after it. They press. They got bigs. They got guards. They do a lot of stuff. Throw a lot of things at you. So we got to be prepared for a little bit of everything.
We're chatting with Jaden Bradley, point guard for your Arizona Wildcats. It's the Wildcats and the UCLA Bruins at the Footprint Center. Jaden, obviously a much different start to the season than what you guys had last year when you guys raced out. A lot of tough games, which you guys were winning. This year, it's been a little bit of a flip of the coin against Power Fours, some struggles and more losses. What's the mindset of the team right now as you guys kind of figure out what this squad is going to be moving into Big 12 conference play?
Yeah, it's not the start we wanted, but, we are where we are, and, we're excited to take on the challenge, and, we're glad we're going through this early, get these growing pains out the way, and, we all know the future is bright for us going into, this couple last non-conference games and, going into a great Big 12 conference. So, we're ready for this.
How do you assess yourself? Obviously, new situation for you, being the point guard for the first time under Tommy Lloyd in this type of environment. How have you assessed your play? How have you graded yourself through these first 7 games?
I've been, I'm very hard on myself. My biggest critic for sure. So, I definitely, I know I got to turn it around, get this team going, get some wins, and, that's what, we're looking for so far right now.
What's the biggest thing that you want to begin to do better?
I would just say lead, just be more, a voice for my team. I've been in a lot of, high-level basketball games, been around Tommy, kind of know what he expects. So kind of getting everybody on that same page and just get everybody clicking and flowing.
Jaden Bradley joining us, Arizona Wildcats starting point guard. Arizona and UCLA renewing the rivalry at the Footprint Center this weekend. Jaden, the three-point shooting numbers a little bit down this year than what you shot last year. Really down across the board when you look at the three guards that primarily play, you and KJ and Caleb. Has it been more difficult to find and get comfortable with those three-point looks so far earlier in the season than what maybe we saw last year?
I feel like we're getting great looks, great opportunities, but every game you're not gonna hit every shot, so we gotta have that that backup plan when we're not hitting shots, and I feel like for us, that's offensive rebounding, so we got to get back to that, and when the days are day, we're gonna hit shots as well. So.
We're joined by Arizona Wildcats point guard Jaden Bradley. It's your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Jaden, obviously the big story that came out of last weekend's game was the decision for KJ to kind of maybe go into a reserve role to kind of maybe change the dynamic of the team and maybe try to be that spark off the bench. How did you find out about that, and kind of what were your thoughts about, Carter coming to the end of the lineup and KJ coming off the bench?
Yeah, I feel like, for KJ, that's a vet move right there. Just not thinking about himself, a selfless play right there. Coming off the bench and giving us something, off the bench. And Carter, is a great player as well. So I feel like they both are interchangeable. So I feel like it's definitely going to help our team, down the line. And, I'm happy he made that decision for the team.
We were talking before the season, just maybe like how we would categorize this new lineup, and I kind of came up with the term 3-guard play for you and KJ and Caleb. How have you guys, the three of you, tried to be a cohesive unit out there? What are some of the things you're doing to try to create that continuity and that cohesiveness?
Yeah, just understanding how each other play and how each other succeed, and putting each other in those positions to be successful, on the court. Caleb is high-level shot-making guard. KJ, gritty, he can do a little bit of everything, and, myself as well. So, just trying to get out there and set each other up and set our other teammates up as well.
What's been your impression of these new guys? I mean, obviously we've seen Toby Awaka kind of be a dominant force on the offensive glass, a guy that can really go to the boards and get second chance opportunities. And Trey Townsend has really kind of established himself as being a guy that can set up down on the low block. How do you like those pieces and what they could potentially do for this team moving forward?
Yeah, I love these pieces. Trey, he's a mismatch nightmare for other teams. Can post their little guards, can, stretch it out as well. Tobe, y'all seen Tobe, on the boards. He's a monster down there. Even Deli, he can make shots at a high level. So once we just get everybody clicking again on that same page and get everybody confident, the sky's the limit for us.
It's our view from courtside, and we're talking to Wildcats point guard Jaden Bradley. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for more than 25 years. U of A and UCLA, the rivalry is renewed at the Footprint Center. Jaden, a couple things about you I want to get into just to kind of, maybe clue people into your history. You're from Rochester, New York, but you grew up down in North Carolina. Where do you consider yourself to be from? Do you consider yourself a North Carolina guy? Do you consider yourself a New York guy?
Yeah, definitely consider myself, from Rochester, New York. But, I currently live in North Carolina, though. Like you stated.
So what was kind of that move like for you? I mean, very different parts of the country. What did you kind of like about growing up in Rochester, and then what were some of the things that were cool about North Carolina? I'm sure the fact that you didn't have to deal with a lot of snow was one of them.
Yeah, for sure. Weather is definitely one of the big adjustments. But Rochester, it's home for me. We got a lot of gritty players from there, a lot of memories from there, AU days. And that's where I grew up. Basketball was, in my hands, watching my older brother, lead the way for me. And, when I kind of moved to North Carolina, basketball is, kind of a little bigger out there. So, kind of really expanded my, my eyes out there. So, happy for that, adjustment that was made for me, and, happy for, where the basketball is taking me.
What did that mean for you? You won a state championship down at Cannon School in North Carolina. What did that mean for you to be able to lead a team to a state title game?
Man, that's, growing up, that's, something you really dream about. And, I still talk to those guys today, even the coaches there. And, I go back to North Carolina, visit the school, and you look up, you got the banners up there. So really, just appreciative and, everything and people that helped me along the journey.
And then how did the opportunity with IMG come along? Was that something maybe you had been looking at potentially maybe for your final year of school? And was that a situation where you went down and lived on your own? What was the dynamic of that opportunity?
Yeah, I was very blessed, to have that opportunity come in my favor. It's something, as a high school basketball player, you see all these cool things on the internet. And, I always, dreamed of playing for, an academy like that. And, I was blessed to have that opportunity come my way. I took it and ran with it, and I was there for 2 years, and it kind of helped me, get prepared for that next level. It's kind of like a mini college for high school players. Like everybody there is about their business, very focused on their craft. So kind of helped me to prepare for the long run.
What's the biggest thing you learned about yourself, kind of being on your own like that at such a young age?
The biggest thing I learned is just. Not even on the court stuff, just time management. My mom, my dad is not there in my ear to tell me, get that done. Make sure you're, up on time for this class, that practice. So really just doing that on my own and, kind of, living a small adulthood, in high school.
Arizona Wildcats point guard Jaden Bradley is our guest. What are you studying at the University of Arizona? What degree are you pursuing?
interdisciplinary studies right now.
And what do you think you'll do with that once basketball is done?
I definitely, want to stay around the game as long as possible. Maybe go into like the business side of things, and whether that's maybe like not even coaching, just like owning different companies or different academies, and furthering my education in basketball.
When Jaden Bradley sits down to watch a game on TV, who do you want to watch? Who are you flipping the channels to watch play?
Right now I watch a little bit of everything. College basketball. My brother is actually a high school basketball coach in Alabama, so I watch him. When I'm not playing or I have time. I watch NBA. I watch anything. I'm a basketball junkie, so anything I can get my hands on.
Have you looked back at the history of the point guards at the U of A? Is there maybe one of those guys that you kind of think maybe my game is a little bit like his, whether that was a Damon Stoudemire or maybe even your guy on the bench there, Jason Gardner or a TJ McConnell? Is there somebody you look at and say, yeah, my game is very similar to his in terms of guys that have held this prestigious position at this university that you have now?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. I don't compare my game to kind of anybody, but I know the history and the legends that were before me. Coach Murphy and the staff does a great job of that, teaching us like the path that we're on right now, and that big A that we represent on our jersey. I joke with Coach Gardner all the time, and I watch some of his stuff, and he was really legendary. So I definitely look up to him.
And your handle on all your socials, JB Smooth, where'd that come from?
That was just kind of, something that just happened. It wasn't like anything about basketball or anything. Just as a kid, I was just playing around with my social, and something that just stuck. And I kind of couldn't change it, at the time, so I got stuck with it.
And what's that song that's on your your earphones right now that gets you ready for games?
That's a great question. I'm a little everywhere right now, but I would say right now a little bit of Gunna. Gunna can get me excited for sure.
Outstanding. Hey, Jaden, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Best of luck against the UCLA Bruins in this monumental renewal of the rivalry, and looking forward to great things with you as this season goes along.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The table...
2. Oh, my. KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And the UCLA Bruins 114th all-time meeting between these two teams. Tip-off coming up in an hour and a half. We've got you for another hour here on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We've got a special guest we're going to talk to here in a moment, but first let's tell you what's coming up the final hour of our show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we've got best bet straight ahead. Arizona's a 3.5-point favorite today. The over-under is 147.5. Ben Bolts from the LA Times will join us with your opponent's scouting report. That's the next segment at about 11:50. Brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Keys to the game, starting lineups. All of that straight ahead. We'll hear some more as well from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, and Mick Cronin on this rivalry here today at the Footprint Center. But right now, you heard we had Eric Stoltz on a little bit earlier. He runs this place we're at today, Willie's Taco Joint. He mentioned that his niece is on the Palm Line at the University of Arizona, and she joins us right now, Maddie Stoltz. Maddie, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. You're not working today. You're off.
Yes, I am off today.
How did you manage that?
Well, we had our tickets, and I was like, I'm going to have to take this day off today.
How long have you been on the U of A Palm Line?
For 4 years. This is my senior year.
Oh, outstanding. So what's it been like for you to go from so obviously you made the team as a freshman.
Yes.
Tell me about that process coming in. Did you dance were you on Palm in high school, and what was the process to go through the tryout and be able to make the team?
So I've been dancing since I was 2, and then I was on the Palm Line for 4 years in high school. And then it was still during COVID, so it was a first-round video process. So I submitted a video, hoping for the best, and then they had a final callback round where they had it in person. So I went in person. There was around 180 girls trying out, and then I went there to do that, and then I luckily made the team as a freshman, and then I've been on it ever since.
So now, did you go to high school in Tucson, or where are you from?
No, I'm from Chandler, so I went to Hamilton High School.
Okay, Chandler, Hamilton High School. Good football program.
Yes.
Up there as well. So did you go to high school with any of the guys like Stukes, I think, and
Genesis Smith.
And those guys?
Yeah, a couple of them I did go to school with.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And so you submitted the video. Did you kind of have an idea what you wanted to put on the video? Did they give you parameters on what they were looking for? Or?
Yeah, so they give you a list of everything that you have to put together. It's a few different routines you have to learn, and then a solo that you have to put together, and then you kind of just make a collage in it and send it in, and then they look over everyone's videos, and then that's how they called you back from there.
And now, what's been the most fun thing about this for you over the course of the last 4 years?
The most fun experience is probably getting to travel with the team and going to things like the Alamo Bowl or NCAA tournaments have been super fun. Just getting new experiences that I haven't been able to been a part of usually.
And then you guys won, I believe it was the Studler Trophy this year. What did that mean to everyone that's involved with the band?
We just put in so much work and time and energy, so it was really great to hear our hard work was paying off, and to be able to be a part of that as I was in the Pride. It was a super great experience.
Now, do you have dreams of being on the field for the Cardinals or the Suns or one of the teams here in the Valley?
Yeah, I think it'd be super cool to keep dancing in the NFL or NBA. I'm not sure where I want to go after college, but maybe if I'm in the area and they have a fun team there, I'll try out.
Now, the professional level, is it different? Trying out for the Suns versus trying out for what they do over with the Cardinals. Is it a different way that they do it?
Yeah, they all have very different processes. Some are super long and some are super short, so you kind of have to do your research on the team and then kind of go from there. But I haven't thought about it that far yet. Like, I think it'd be cool to do, but I haven't thought about it yet.
So now you have, I imagine you have special privileges when you come up here to Willie's Taco Joint because you're family, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's nice to come
Is
here.
your name, do they have anything on the menu with your name on it at all?
No,
we
they
got
don't.
to get a Maddie.
I know.
What would we have on the menu? Would it be something to eat, something to drink?
Yeah, something to eat, but my name doesn't rhyme with much.
No?
And Maddie, nothing, not much.
Maddie's Patty,
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah, something
a
like
Maddie
that.
Patty,
Uh-huh.
or something of that nature?
Yes.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would.
So now, like, obviously, so how many girls will be here today performing?
I think there's 6 or 7 girls that do each game, so there's 6 traveling up with the Pride in the band to do this game.
Now, are you a captain, or?
No, I'm not.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm just...
So what are you studying?
I'm in sports management.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with that?
I'm not super sure yet. I want to kind of work in the MLB and just do something like game day experience, like event coordinator or something like that, but I still have to look into that and figure out like what exactly I want to do.
Have you had internships in sports at all? Or?
No, I've tried to do one in basketball, but it's so hard with my schedule because we cheer at everything and they want you to be at every game, so it's hard to do both of that.
Okay, Diamondbacks fan or?
I'm actually a Phillies fan.
Ooh, that's right. Eric said that y'all are Philly folks.
Yes,
Philly folks.
Phillies and the Eagles.
So did you come up last year for the NLCS?
Yes,
yeah.
we were. And then we came up when they played, who did they play? Diamondbacks again
Rangers
up here. Yeah.
For the World Series?
Yes.
Yeah. I was here. I came up for the NLCS. I think I was at Game 4. It was the one that the Phillies won.
Yes, I think that's when we were at.
Yeah.
And my dad went to all of them, but I had to go back down for Palm.
Now, you're born out here, or were you born back in Philly as well?
Yeah, I'm born here. My
You're born
dad's
here?
just from Jersey,
All
so I
right.
kind of grew up following his teams.
Now, what part of Jersey are you guys from?
He's from South Jersey.
Okay, where in South? Because my dad lives in South Jersey.
I
so
think
I'm looking at cities. So where in South? Dad,
Medford?
where in South Jersey? Where? Medford. Medford, New Jersey. Okay, because my dad is in Willingboro. So, yeah, Willingboro, Burlington County. Yeah, that's where we are. Yep, there we go. There you go. All right. So, do you like going back to Philadelphia? Is that you have fun? Do you have a favorite place? Oh, there you go. Eat not birds, Eagles. Eagles fan.
Yeah,
well, we got
I like
Nick
going
Foles.
back
We were talking about
east.
Nick Foles a little bit earlier. Obviously, great
Oh, yeah.
connections there.
Mhm.
So, what's your prediction today?
I don't know. I think the Cats are gonna win.
Okay.
I think they can pull it off.
All right. How many? You want to give me a final score on that?
Like 98,
Whoa,
85.
98 to 85. You're blowing way past this number here, 147 and a half. 98 to 85. That's what? That's 183 points today. Okay. UCLA likes to play defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if we get that high. Well, Maddie, continued success. Best of luck. So what's the next game we'll be able to see you at? Are you working the Wednesday home game or Saturday coming up?
No, the next game I'll be at is when they play Baylor back at home.
Oh, okay, so you'll be at the Bay. I think that might be the Pac-12, the big Pac-12. I usually have every time I say Pac-12, I have this jar full of money because I have to put money into it
all the
because
time.
I can't keep making that mistake. I think that's the Big 12 home opener, so we'll look for you down there for that particular game. Maddie, have fun today.
Thank you for having me.
Maddie Stoltz from the U of A Palm Line joining us on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Class dismissed. You can All right, let's find out what's going to happen on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino with this game today.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the cat beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, guys, Arizona -3.5 is the line on this. I mentioned the over-under lower than we're normally used to seeing at 147.5. Let me pull up our chart here so I can tell everybody where we are at after 8 games. DK at 11-5, Kelvin Efine at 8-8, JW Madden at 7-9. U of A -3.5. We'll start with JW Madden since he's bringing up the rear currently.
Definitely going to be under, I'll tell you that much. But as far as the spread goes, these games are always so tight. I mean, I got so much respect for Mick Cronin. It doesn't matter what's on that roster. His guys are going to be ready to bring it. So I like the Cats in this game. I'll say they win by just over that 3.5, so maybe 4 or 5 point win.
Okay.
So Cats.
So you're
Cats.
taking U of A and laying the number.
I am.
Okay. Calvin Efon, what do you have today?
Yeah, I'm taking U of A as well and laying the number. I think it's something similar, 5-point game, real tight game, real scrappy game. Under for sure, 100% under. 1 under. Only way it could go over is if UCLA gets hot from the 3.
Yeah, like that game in McHale a couple years back. Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we're going to see some movement today because the Wildcats got to show me something. Obviously, they have not won a game yet this year against a Power 4 team, and I don't know that this is the day either against a UCLA team that looks really good. Jumped into the rankings this week, I should say, at number 24. So I'm taking UCLA and the 3.5 points today here at the Footprint Center, and I think I'm going to stick so I don't lose all my lead. I'll stick with the under as well. Under coming in at 147.5. So Jamie Madden and Kelvin taking Arizona and laying the points. I'll take those points for UCLA. Everybody's going with the under today.
Yeah, people don't know. I don't know if we mentioned it, but UCLA currently leading the nation in fewest points allowed. So they're only giving up 55 points a game. So that defense, Kelvin, I mean, we saw some 48, 47 games between these two teams in the past. Arizona's fast break hasn't been what it normally is. So, yeah, I think that – what'd you say, DK, 145, something like that?
147.5.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it being 65, 62 or something like that.
And you know how Cronin is. He's going to pack the paint, take away the easy buckets, and force us to knock down threes if we want to, beat them.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, well, obviously the Wildcats would love, I don't know if you're going to get 62 points from your bench today, but you certainly would like that bench production like you got from the 4 guys that scored in double figures. One of those guys was Anthony Del Orso. How about this, guys? In the last 4 games, Anthony Del Orso is shooting 59% from the field and 59% from 3.
That's what he does.
And
Kelvin said it best. I mean, after that Duke game, it was just about comfortability and making sure he understands where his shots are coming from within the flow of the offense. And you know what else? All his teammates, Kelvin, are talking about how much they trust in him because they've been seeing it. They know what a good shooter he is. They know he can get his own off the dribble. So us fans watching and thinking hey, Deli is supposed to be a 20-point scorer. What's going on? I wasn't worried about that. It's just about that flow offense, where my shot's coming from. Try not to step on people's toes. He's comfortable now.
Absolutely. And one of the things that Anthony has said, or Deli as they call him, is that, again, there are some similarities with the way that Tommy Lloyd runs his offense to what he was used to playing prior to his U of A career over at Campbell.
Obviously, the pace is completely different. Campbell's one of the slower playing teams, and Arizona's one of the fastest playing teams. But the similarities kind of in the offense and how the bigs are used, the way the cutting works. Obviously, Campbell plays a Princeton style of offense, so that cutting comes natural. But there is definitely similarities, and I think that's why Tommy has the liking towards guys like me, because we have that's all IQ at the end of the day. It's not about athleticism or how long you are or how high you can jump. It's just smarts and reading your defender. So
IQ is so important in this game when you got smart kids, smart ball players out there that really know where to be and when to be there. That can be half the battle sometimes when you're trying to, especially piece together kids that are coming in from the outside and you need them to kind of pick things up quickly. Anthony Del Orso is hot right now, says Tommy Lloyd.
Deli is, he's pretty laser focused, and I think I knew it might take him a little bit of time to adjust, coming here, but he did practice really well this fall. And all the scrimmages we had, all the things where we started really kept score, he performed. But, then you got to go do it under the lights. And it's your first time coming off the bench. And so he had to work himself through those things. And, hey, your first kind of, real moment, away from McHale is a tough one. You're at Wisconsin, it doesn't go good. Your second, you come back, try to rebound from that, you're Duke at home, and you lose a tough game. Then, bam, you go right to the Bahamas for 3 games in 3 days. So he's worked himself through it, I think, and I think you guys are seeing somebody that, I'm hoping this guy's a double-figure type scorer in that role. And the way he shoots the ball, I think he's a guy that can draw a lot of attention and really help us in a lot of other areas.
Guys, I think if you can get double figures, I think he kind of is that X factor guy for me. If you can get double figures from him in a game like today, and we can start to see it consistently in games like these, I think you've got a really good shot at winning a game like this. If he can be that guy that other guy off the bench that can give you a double figure performance besides, those other guys that we're used to seeing in KJ Lewis and Mateus Grivas.
Kelvin, I look at it I think people tend to overcomplicate it, but the way I see it is very simple. There are 3 or 4 go-to guys on this team. You're talking about Trey Townsend, you're talking about Caleb Love. Delly's on the scout now. Teams are looking at what he's been doing, what he did in Atlantis. They know about what Delly can do, but they're not focused on taking Delly's scoring out of the game. Right. So all he has to do, like he said there, is Campbell, who's used to cutting, those cuts, get to the rim. He's got enough size to be able to finish, but mostly just find open space and shoot with confidence. He's going to be a 10-point scorer, Kelvin, if he just relies on those other offensive firepower for the Wildcats, taking defensive attention, commanding doubles, and finding himself open, and then driving past those closeouts.
I agree with you guys, but I don't think offensive has ever been his situation or has been his problem. I think we're going to have to find out, can he play against Division I high-level offensive players? Can he defend these guys? Because I think his struggles is on the defensive end. I didn't see the problems offensively, right? So he's going to have to prove that he can, to himself more than anybody, that he can guard these high-level type of guards.
Yeah, it's going to get physical here real quick once conference starts.
Yeah.
And I actually shorted him. He's actually, from 3, shooting 63% in the last 4 games, 59% overall for Anthony Dell'Orso. All right, that is those are our best bets. Did we close that out already? I can never remember.
We sure did.
We did. All right, we're good with the sponsorship side of that. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. It is starting to get bumping here. What we got? Is this ZZ Top? I think I'm hearing right now. We've had a bunch of good music here so far at Willie's Taco Joint. All the tables are packed. It is, as you can imagine, probably I've only seen that one set of UCLA folks, so I think right now it's probably about 30-3 in favor of Arizona over UCLA right now. When we come back, we're going to give you your scouting report. Ben Bulch from the LA Times will join us. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg and Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg and Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg and Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's December in Tucson, and yes, it's cold outside, but we're here to help with our $79 furnace diagnostic service special and our $79 water heater flush that includes a free plumbing inspection. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturerockschooling.com. And on behalf of our entire team, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Picture Rock Schooling, heating and plumbing.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. Time now for our look at today's Wildcat opponent. The scouting report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there.
All right, let's take a closer look at this afternoon's opponent, the UCLA Bruins. We know them well. Pleased to be joined by the longtime beat writer from the Los Angeles Times, Ben Bolch. Ben, I think this is, 25 years for you now on this beat? You know the Bruins upside down and every which way, I would imagine.
25 years at the LA Times, and I believe 8.5 consecutively on the Bruins. I've bounced around and done some different things, but probably about a third of my time on UCLA.
There you go. Well, this is obviously the renewal of a rivalry that spanned many years in the Pac-12. Obviously now different conferences, but these two coaches have gotten together. Were you surprised that they were able to get this together? Coach Lloyd and Coach Cronin as quickly as they were able to?
I actually am. Yeah, these things normally are agreed to, years and years in advance. But as we all have learned, you got to do things on the fly now in the new age of college athletics. So I think it's a credit to both coaches. I know that the fans of both schools want to see these teams continue to play each other. And this series will have 3 of the next 4 years they'll be playing at quote-unquote neutral sites. So I think it's a win-win for all fan bases, both teams and the coaches. So kudos to Tommy Lloyd and Mick Cronin.
Yeah, what's the feel for that on the UCLA side? I know a lot of the Arizona fans would prefer that these games be played home and home. McHale Center and Pauley Pavilion versus at these neutral site locations. At least on our side, that's the feeling. What's kind of been the way the fans have been reacting to it on the UCLA side?
Yeah, I know that was going to be a hang-up from the UCLA perspective and talking to some parents. I don't want to say of which players, but there were some parents of certain players in recent years who did not have the best fan experience at McHale Center.
Ooh.
So I think that was one of the reasons that we're not having this as a home and home. But I think either way, the way they're trending is more toward the NIL stuff because, UCLA is playing Gonzaga in the same kind of situation. They're playing at the Intuit Dome, and next year they're going to play in Seattle. So I don't know that, it necessarily, would have happened the other way. I think that UCLA did want to do this neutral site regardless, and it's it serves a dual purpose for them based on what I just said.
Ben Bulch joining us from the Los Angeles Times. It's your scouting report on the Bruins, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, we're here to get you there. A lot of familiar names when you look at this roster. Ben, guys that we've seen play at other schools outside of UCLA, but still in the Pac-12 conference. Let's start with Kobe Jones. I mean, I'm a USC grad, so it's a little weird to see a Trojan playing for the Bruins, but what has he been able to add to this team since coming over from the central part of Los Angeles?
Yeah, Mick Cronin kind of sold Kobe Johnson as a defensive player of the year candidate in the mold of Jalen Clark. And I'll be completely honest, I really haven't seen that or anything close to it. I think Mick Cronin's kind of acknowledged that he's been a little bit of a disappointment on the defensive end because he's been reaching and fouling and, trying to gamble for steals too many times and hasn't really reminded me of Jalen Clark in any way. So, he's got a lot of work to do. I do think he's linked in athleticism. He has a lot of potential. He can shoot the three. He does have, some valuable skills to add. But I think, he's got a long way to go. But if I'm UCLA, him not playing well and being 8-1, actually, I think that's a good sign because he can get a lot better and add a lot more to this team.
He seems to really love this Eric Daly Jr., the kid from Oklahoma State, just calls him basically a gym rat.
Yeah, he says he's his most consistent player, and I would totally agree with that. I mean, he's shooting 47.4% on three. Hasn't really overdone it from there. He shot, I would say, a judicious amount. You probably want him to shoot more if he's shooting at that rate, but I think part of it is a function of smart shot selection. But beyond that, really good rebounder, really good passer, makes smart decisions, doesn't turn it over. Don't really have any, negatives about him. He's a good defender. He's athletic. All upside across the board for Eric Daly. He's, of the 6 transfers, if you had to kind of rank them in order of early impact, I would say you'd have to put Eric Daly at the top by a mile.
Yeah, and I know you were talking just a few minutes ago about, obviously, the defensive transition for Kobe Johnson. Tyler Bilodeau comes over from Oregon State, and he's kind of being asked as well to do some things, different things defensively. What is Mick trying to make him into?
Yeah, this is one of the storylines that's evolving, and I think is going to change fairly soon, and maybe even in this game against Arizona, Mick Cronin is basically asking Tyler Bilodeau to play the 5, which, has some pros and cons, but frankly, for long term, probably has more cons because he's not somebody who can match up physically with true centers. So, we saw it against Nate Biddle. He struggled against Oregon, and Biddle went for 22 points and 10 rebounds. And the two more traditional centers, Daimara and William Kyle, only played spot minutes in that game. But I think that's a transition that's slowly going to be made into getting more minutes for those other big men and sliding everybody down one spot. You slide Bilodeau to the 4, you slide Eric Daly to the 3, and I think that pays a lot of dividends, and I think that optimizes UCLA's lineup. So I'm interested to see how soon we're going to see more of that, and as I said, I think we're going to be seeing it pretty soon.
Ben Bulch is our guest today. It is your scouting report. UCLA and Arizona coming up straight ahead here at the Footprint Center. It's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, we're here to get you there. Obviously, when you look at this team, you've got a star son on the roster. Christian Ori hasn't played at all this year. Was that what's kind of the plan for Christian, son of Robert Ori, legendary Los Angeles Laker on 3 of those Laker title teams? Is this a young man that they've already decided to redshirt, or is there a potential he could play at some point?
I think he might be a very deep rotation player his final 2 years in the program, but I don't foresee him getting any sort of minutes this year or frankly even next year. So I would assume, I haven't heard officially that he's redshirt, but I believe the plan is for him to redshirt, continue to develop, and keep pecking away at getting a little bit better every year. And as I said, by his redshirt junior or senior season, he can make some sort of contribution.
Ben, we've been watching Coach Cronin's style so many years, and obviously he's always been known as that defensive first approach. Looking at the statistics, number 1 in the nation, holding opponents to only 55 points. Obviously the steals and the pressure this year, and I'm looking at the minutes spread around. Coach Cronin traditionally has been a really tight 7-man rotation. Those minutes, there's a number of 9 players, right around the 10, 15 minute per game mark, and all that extra pressure. Is that a concerted effort this year by Coach Cronin to get out in more pressure and try to turn teams over?
Absolutely. And he said, he said, I know that people expect me, meaning him, to, whittle that rotation down to 8 guys, but he said they're going to play 10 guys the whole season. And I believe him. It's paying benefits. Obviously they almost kind of gave away that Oregon game at the end, but having fresh legs allowed them to pull it out at the end. And I think that's, we saw in years past where guys like Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez were playing 35-plus minutes a night and kind of worn down at the end of the games. We're not going to see that anymore. So it's all going to be about optimizing the rotations, finding the best guys at the end for any given situation. If they're nursing a 10-point lead, obviously you want to get your best defensive lineup in there and kind of shut them down. But one thing about this defense right now, they are forcing a lot of turnovers. They are limiting opponents, but I haven't really been that impressed with their 3-quarters and full court pressure. They haven't really, especially against the high major teams, Oregon, Washington, and I'll throw New Mexico in there. They really haven't forced that many turnovers. So I'll be interested to see if they kind of scrap that at some point, or they just like it for kind of wearing teams down, even if it doesn't force turnovers. But that's been one thing that I think will be something to watch against the Wildcats. Do they kind of back off on that, or do they kind of double down and see if they can keep that going?
We're chatting with Ben Bulch from the Los Angeles Times, getting you set for the Bruins and the Wildcats today here in Phoenix at the Footprint Center, the first of 3 matchups over the next 4 years on neutral sites to continue this rivalry. I guess, Ben, what's kind of the feel for what the Big Ten is going to be basketball-wise with UCLA in it now?
Yeah, I'm really fascinated to see. I think the style really fits Mick Cronin's strengths. We saw that in the NCAA tournament a few years ago when he went up against Michigan State and Michigan and, really beat those teams at their own game. And I think that's something that Mick Cronin can do. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing who the new big rival is. Obviously, SC's going to come with them or is with them, but I think the big rivals, my candidates are going to be Indiana, Michigan, or Michigan State. I think one of those is probably going to emerge as the new Arizona for UCLA. So I'm looking forward to seeing which one of those it will be.
Obviously, the big man, Adem Bona, has graduated on to the National Basketball Association. A menace, as Tommy Lloyd categorized him this week. Where would you put him, I guess, on the pedestal of great big men in the history of UCLA basketball? I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, when you think of UCLA big men, you have to really go all the way back to the 70s and Walton and Alcindor. But is he even on that plateau in terms of big men in the history of that program?
Oh, this is, I love Adem Bona as much as anybody, but I don't think you can put him anywhere near that category, right? I mean, first of all, he was only there 2 years, and a very different player. I think you could easily make the case that he was more athletic than either Kareem or Bill Walton. But, when you talk about all-around player and ability to dominate a game, I mean, Adem Bona is still, pretty raw offensively. So I wouldn't, even put those gentlemen in the same category. But I do think Adem Bona was a great Bruin and somebody who did leave a legacy there.
All right. Well, it is the Bruins and the Wildcats at the Footprint Center. Ben, we always appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and enjoy the game today.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on.
That is Ben Bulge from the Los Angeles Times, and that is your scouting report.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee.
Continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Bruins with the ball. Mack out top, ball tipped away by Love in a steal. Caleb Love driving the other way to the bucket, slam it home. Timeout UCLA.
It is UCLA and Arizona for the 114th time. Final segment of our Arizona Game Day show here from Willie's Taco Joint. Just a stone's throw away from just a three-point jumper. Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. A three-point jumper from the Footprint Center. That was last year's game for the Arizona Wildcats. They've actually kind of controlled this series of late. With the UCLA Bruins have the Arizona Wildcats. I mentioned early on in the show, in case you weren't with us, that the Wildcats have won the last 3 meetings in this series. And U of A has actually taken 6 of the last 7 against the Bruins, including the Pac-12 Tournament Championship game wins in 2022 and 2023. This will be the first.
As is tradition, Kelvin, prior to that 7-1, the Cats were 0-6 versus the Bruins. Remember that stretch, too. So, yeah, it's always – there's some balance in there somewhere.
This will be the first of 3 games on non-conference courts in this series. Tommy Lloyd this week talking about the possibility for home-and-home against UCLA in the future.
I think for sure. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be. I just think it was easy at first, I think we've both played in each other's gyms recently enough and had, maybe a lack of success. So I think neither coach was excited to go back to Poly or go back to McHale because we both have done that a lot. So I think this is a good little breather in between, and we'll kind of figure out if home and home's in the future.
Were you also looking for maybe a different atmosphere having these at neutral sites?
Well, listen, I'm excited to play in Phoenix. I mean, that's something I'm pretty steadfast. I think there's an opportunity for us to really create, hopefully, an annual event up there that has a lot of meaning for our program and for the University of Arizona alumni base, and obviously, Phoenix is our strongest, deepest alumni base. So I want to do something up there to engage. It's sometimes easier said than done because putting things together just isn't as easy as snapping your fingers and wanting to. You have to have willing partners, and it has to make sense on a lot of levels. But we're excited to be playing in Phoenix. We have great memories from, just the atmosphere of the Alabama game up there last year was pretty special, and so hopefully we can, we kind of recapture that on Saturday.
And guys, I guess it was a little disappointing to hear Ben's kind of take on the fact that maybe one of the reasons why there might not be home and homes for a while is there's been some bad experiences for UCLA parents. We obviously had the incident, the spitting incident, a few years ago with the player that got into it with the Zona Zoo. There's, again.
That was Etienne, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want Travis Etienne, I think, or that's the football player.
Yeah.
But
no, that was him, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to hear those types of things coming out of this rivalry. You want to hear about fans being passionate, but, not saying
Kelvin,
negative things to parents and that kind of thing.
Kelvin, you've been around this program for, I won't even tell the listeners how many years, but in your experience, is the average Arizona fan kind and generous and, a good spirit, or is the average Arizona fan going to try to seek out parents of opponents and try to cause mess with them? I mean, I think that might be a very isolated situation.
Yeah, definitely isolated. That's not something that you hear about at McHale Center, a lot. So, but in that situation with UCLA, being that they're not a conference opponent anymore, of course, in the discussions and having a situation like that happen, it'll make you have a little caution if you or the teams, involved. But again, I just think it's a great opportunity for your players to be able to play, as they said, in a place like Phoenix that have so many of our alumni up there, and plus in an NBA arena, which all your guys love playing in. You recruit guys to come to your schools because they want opportunities to play in places like that. So there's a lot of advantages to playing these type of games in these type of arenas.
Yeah, and they don't play postseason on home courts, do they?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I mean, yeah, there have been, like we mentioned, a number of years where these two teams have played on the court in Las Vegas, so a neutral court setting like that. But Mick Cronin even admitted that this point of the season, that this is a little bit different type of game here today.
Well, the whole thing's weird, you know. So I tell you, the players like playing in NBA arenas.
Yeah.
So, and look, for us, like to me, this whole thing about neutral site games, I mean, you had asked this earlier. You know, the old days, it just didn't happen, right? You played home and homes. But the old days are the old, that's why they're called old days. The new days, neutral site games, NIL games. The good thing about it is the NCAA tournament is at a neutral site in big arenas. So, from an experience standpoint. But yeah, no, I mean, it's weird that we're not in the same league.
Yeah.
You know, extremely weird. But a lot of things weird this day and age, my friend.
Mick Cronin, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things weird in this day.
But you know, we played a lot of these big games in those type of arenas. I remember playing Michigan in Detroit's place in Auburn Palace.
Yeah. Auburn Hills.
Yes, I remember playing. Who was that? Allen Iverson, the Hoyas, in
MSG.
Yeah, well, we was in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, MSG, yeah.
In Madison Square Garden. And again, it was just an opportunity. Anytime as a player you get a chance to play in an NBA arena. Of course, you would love to play at home, but getting a chance to play in an NBA arena is like a dream come true for an athlete.
U of A locker rooms are nice, but...
Right. You know, be able to be in the locker room
just
with
a little
Larry
taste.
Johnson.
Just a little taste.
You know, I'm
Kelvin.
a Dallas boy, and I'm over close to Larry Johnson's locker room, you know.
Seeing a few more UCLA jerseys now. We got a Johnny Juzang jersey. Looks
Late arriving.
Exactly. You know who's
fashionably late.
Fashionably late. Yeah, they are fashionable over there. With their white and black Nikes. You know who's no stranger to playing a game at the Footprint Center? The Bruins' Dylan Andrews.
I'm excited because in high school I got to actually play at the Footprint Arena. With Arizona Compass, we got to play Oak Hill there in the Hoop Ball Classic. Their arena is dope, and it's going to be another road game just because, you know, Phoenix is only 2 hours away from Tucson, and so Arizona's fan base usually comes out to, you know, anywhere they go, and it's going to be another road game that we hope to get.
And you know what we also got here today, guys? We got a couple of ex-high school teammates going up against each other. Eric Daly Jr. and Jaden Bradley were on the same team at IMG Academy just a few short years ago. So they will renew their friendship here on opposite sides of this game today. That should be a whole lot of fun. Let's dive into what we think the Wildcats need to do to win today.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, guys, we talk about, obviously, what type of game this is going to be, defensive-oriented UCLA, and I don't think there's any question that one of the things that's going to determine this game is who's able to control the pace today, and I think if you're the Wildcats, you have to be that team. I mean, Arizona comes in, I believe, in the top 20 in terms of possessions per game, and you've got to be able to stay on that number. I think they're at like about 73% or 73 possessions over 40 minutes. You need to get to that mark and stay with your game in order to have a chance to beat UCLA. And also, I mean, again, I think the thing defensively for Arizona today, it's going to be you want to obviously defend the three-point line, but I think it's more important to not allow their guards to get into the lane and be able to kick to those guys on the outside. I mean, they got two guys in Daly Jr., who we just mentioned, and Lazar Stefanovic, who are averaging over 45% shooting three. So if you let those guards get into the paint and kick out to those guys, it's going to be a long night for Arizona. So definitely do not allow penetration is going to be important today. And I think, Wildcats, again, you got to get the points where you can get them. Transition, dictate the pace, and be able to get maybe some easy buckets from Toby Awaka and those guys off of offensive rebounds, and that's the only way that Arizona, I think, has a chance today.
And my keys to the game are, I think we have the defensive rebound. I think if you let these guys rebound and pass it back out to the three, they're real deadly on those threes, because trying to scramble out and find shooters once the shot go up is real tough. So you got to secure those rebounds. Secondly, I think that we have to be ready for the pressures that they are applying. I don't think we've seen many pressures this year. We have ball handlers in Caleb Love and Bradley, but I think that would be smart. I would love to see how we handle the pressure, so be ready for that. And then I think we got to get Caleb Love going, man. I think when Caleb is playing well, I think the other guys on the team follow suit. So I want to see Caleb Love have a good offensive game. And also I want to add this last one. Clean offensive possessions if we don't get the fast break. If the fast break isn't there, that's fine. Run a play and just get a clean shot that the system want to have.
Yeah, that last one there is big for me, Kelvin, because number one for me is discipline, because we already know what Cronin's defense is going to bring. Physical, intense, aggressive defense. They're always really usually very connected. So you just got to make sure that you make smart reads and don't do too much. I mean, we're trying to keep it simple. Just make sure that you read what the defense is doing, take care of the ball, no dumb turnovers. Number two, you got to stay, like DK said, like both you said, you got to stay in front of those guards on the drives and stay with the shooters. We've seen issues this year with U of A losing some shooters, especially in the corners. Just make sure. That's a lot of what Cronin's teams like to do is drive and kick. So make sure that you stay with those guys and let them get hot early. And number three, typical, I just want to see a lot of extra passes. I want to see shot fakes, ball fakes, defensive aggression. Kelvin knows this, leads to a lot of back doors are going to be open, that kind of thing. If you are just patient with those offensive half-court possessions and make sure that you find the extra man, those hockey assists, I'd like to see at least, it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I'd like to see somewhere between 18, maybe even 20 assists. Those are my keys today versus the Bruins.
Wildcats fans, that's our keys to the game. Brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right.
The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
All right, we've gone from 3-guard play to 3 big bonanza. 3 forwards. Carter Bryant, 6'8", 225-pound freshman out of Riverside Corona Centennial, averaging 4 points and 3 rebounds on the season. Trey Townsend, 6'6", fifth-year forward out of Oxford, Michigan, 11 points and 8 rebounds this season. Toby Awaka, 6'8", junior forward out of Hyde Park, New York, 8 points, 9 rebounds on the season. Your guards, Caleb Love, 6'4", 205-pound fifth year out of St. Louis, Missouri, 14 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. And Jaden Bradley, 12 points per contest for Jaden Bradley, dishing out just over 3 assists per ball game, 6'3" guard out of Rochester, New York. That is going to wrap up our show from Willie's Taco Joint. We'll be back after the game. Meridian Wealth Management post-game show. Enjoy it. The 114th meeting between UCLA and Arizona. 1 o'clock tip-off with Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen. They're coming up next. For Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. This is Wildcats Radio 1290, Bear Down, Arizona.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things...